on the flip side, you got a locker room full of players that don't play that position. That, you got to do the best thing by them, and you got to do right by them. And the best answer at the position is still Joe Flacco.
Listen for the MMQB's Albert Breer, Tuesdays at 5:20 on Cleveland's Sports Radio.
Ready?
92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
By the walk, and there's a base hit to left field around 13. Hey, Kafis, he'll be waved home, and he will score the game's first run. Line drive, right field, base hit. Scoring is Arias, 2-0 Guardians. Angel Martinez with a clutch. 2 out, pinch hit RBI single. Low, right field. If it's down, it's fair. It is. 2 runs will score, and the Guardians get the clutch hit they've been dying for. And it comes in the 9th with 2 outs off the bat of Bo Naylor. The 0-2. Book it. Cade Smith slams the door on the Tigers, and the Guardians just keep winning. Their longest win streak of the season, 6 in a row, and they're just 4.5 back of the Tigers in the Central Division.
This is Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy of Clegg. It's Guardians TV. It just says Clegg when you go on the thing, and I just could. Did you ever see? All right, this is a really weird reference. You don't remember because you didn't watch motorsports. Did anybody ever see the ads for Jigs?
Yes.
Okay. Owen knows because it used to be all over NHRA. I haven't seen it lately. Probably still is.
Well, it's an Ohio company. I think it's in Delaware.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. And Jake Coughlin Jr. and the Coughlin fan. And I don't know why I'm referencing it, but I just see Clegg. One call gets it all. One click gets it quick. Jigs. Yeah. And so I go, Clegg.
It's like you guys are speaking an entirely different language right now. I need an interpreter.
I used to get my Jags magazine and my Summit magazine.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Look at the lift kits I could put on my Bronco.
That's a terrible way to start it off, but I just go,
I thought I was cool by having a friend show me how to put speakers in my car back in the day.
Well,
you got that other stuff.
You get that nice balsa wood. Well, it's not balsa wood, but it's particle board for the most part there, and then you got to drill the holes in and make sure it's just so. You got to put the felt in just
carpet,
right.
Man. You got to get the right carpet.
Yep,
was it Sony? Let's start with the V.
Vios.
Vio. That's it.
There's a big difference between the and then you would hear the rattling going on. You're like, oh, you didn't seal it well.
I had the Sony Explode.
Yeah.
You didn't put the E in the front, though.
Now, wait, cars are so technologically sound now and like 25 generations ahead of the cars that we were at. Is that too damaging to do that to a car now?
There's a bunch of young kids who are leaving to go to school right now. Well, it's still early, but they might be with their dads. You guys are about to have an entire conversation about your dads in the 90s.
Rockford Fosgate,
yes.
Learn it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There was nothing better than a Dodge Neon, and you empty out that trunk, you had the CD changer, and it was the best.
I had to take off the rear view because it rattled so much.
My buddy got a Ford Ranger. He had like I don't know how he got a brand new Ford Ranger. And he got a brand new one. The first thing we did was pull them door panels off and take the saws on.
There's just no way you'd be allowed to do that.
In a brand new truck.
I just remember bourbons and lax. My buddy's car would explode going down the cul-de-sac.
This is what my buddy, one of my favorite memories of my buddy Ryan growing up. We're in his pole barn, and his dad bought us beer. We're sitting there at the pole. You sure that's all right? Yeah, man, go ahead. I don't care. All right, Guardians won last night. Sorry, I had to go down memory lane for a second. Guardians won last night. Guardians win. Big Guardians win. Who'd have thunk it if 2 months ago I would have told you Bo Naylor was going to break this series wide open, or break the season wide open? Guy's been hotter than hell, hotter than a bastard. He breaks it open last night.
He's up to 188 on the year.
Hey, whatever.
You're right. He's batting like 313 or something. You're
right, but exactly.
But he's only at 180.
That's how ice cold he was. Because there was a time we're going, the only reason he's here because they have nobody in the system.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the only reason he's here. They have nobody in we were in a dark place as a populace with the Guardians. And so Bo Naylor last night, I'm watching, it's the bottom of the eighth or top of the eighth, and I'm going, come on, we gotta look, come on, just get some insurance here. Let's go. And then he swings, and it goes right down that line. And I go, this ball game's over. This is fantastic. Bo Naylor just broke this thing wide open.
And that's the difference between Cade Smith with a 2-run lead. I'm like, I don't know. But Cade Smith with a 4-run lead.
That's what
even Cade Smith was like, I'm not he threw 8 pitches in the ninth.
Yes.
They were all strikes.
Yes.
Struck out 2.
Think about how different it was. Yeah, the pressure was off. By the way, real quick, Bo Naylor, because I know you're interested in the splits. We do a lot of nitty-gritty split talk for the baseball guys. It was in the month of May, 196, June, 169, Owen.
Oh, nice.
137 in the month of July.
The Yodeler's going down right now.
Then it was 204, and now, and then 169 again.
Twice.
Still nice.
And 282. He has bloomed right before our eyes.
I got one Canadian going this way, I got another Canadian going that way, and I'm over here like, what do you want from me?
Can he start stealing bases like his brother?
We'll see where that one goes now. But it's nice to see that Bo Naylor broke it open. So today, they started asking this yesterday on Afternoon Drive as I was driving in to get ready to do a preview show. And you could tell Nick didn't want to do it, but it turned into it. And it was like, who's got more pressure on him? And I go, that is a damn good question, boys. Because I'm driving in and I go, we'll see tonight. And now you've won 2 in a row. And you have a chance to get the series sweep today, even though it's Tarek Skubal today at 1. By the way, I couldn't help it. Somebody tweeted at me, and I go, who'd have thought that you guys all thought that 1 p.m. games in September wouldn't matter? And here we are, a 1 p.m. game in September, and boy, it matters. So let's take it and run with it as far as we possibly can this afternoon, because who knows how many more of these we're going to get. We got Tarek Skubal going against us today. We got Tanner Bybee going for us today. There's pressure, but I don't know who it's on. I would have to say, because you're the defending American League Central champions. You're the ones who did have the 10-game losing streak, and you're the one who has the fan base who's really upset with the owner. And I got to admit, I don't pay that close of attention to Tigers fans or anything. Our rivalries mostly come from football, whether it be college or pro. And then if it's rivalries, I think everybody's a rival with the Yankees. And I think the Dodgers are becoming a rival to the rest of Major League Baseball, especially because, I don't know, Shohei Ohtani just doesn't seem like a good guy, to be honest with you, but that's a totally different question for another day. There was a rivalry at one point haired with the Tigers, and I think it's blooming again. But you're the defending American League champion. A.J. Hinch has been asked about it. We played that yesterday morning. They're the team that's up in the division. I don't know how much last year matters, especially, but I think for fans, there is this whole weird thing that's totally reasonable about how we feel about the owner. So who do you think has more pressure? Who really has more pressure here?
Well, I guess I would have to ask, how many games can we afford to lose and get in? The rest of the way, we have 11 games. Because that, to me, could answer it pretty easily. Because if we can only lose... 1. Well, you're talking about the division. 2. I'm talking get into the playoffs, any means necessary, whatever. Yeah, it'd be great to win a division.
Well, but I think that okay, let me go back to this here for a second. If you do make the postseason, I don't know how, I got to see how they line up. How would they line up, Owen, as far as, would you end up eventually playing? You would end up eventually playing if the Tigers were that good and you were that good, you'd end up playing them. But where does that line up?
Right now, the Tigers are the 2 seed. So Tigers have a first-round bye right now, but I'm sure that's going to, if you end up knocking it off, I don't know that the Guardians are going to slot into the 2 seed.
Okay, because there's some things I want to make sure that I get right there, and Owen, you got it right in front of you there, so I want to make sure that it's all correct. I would imagine the Tigers don't want to see us in a postseason series.
Yeah, I'd bet that.
I mean,
that's a good point.
The 3rd or 4th best record in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break.
And you're certainly not afraid of them.
And
right now, in fact, we'll see what happens today, but you certainly weren't afraid of their best pitcher last year with the season on the line.
There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to a lot of it. I mean, the lineup has been scattershot at times. The starting rotation has been scattershot at times. You've had a couple of obviously really nice outings here with Slade Ciccone and Gavin Williams, but I think there's been just this weird roller coaster that somehow you've been able to pull out games. and it's a team that doesn't, it's a zombie team that doesn't that refuses to die. And I think for the Tigers, you're the ones that are up in the division. So even though the Guardians are technically the defending American League Central champions, as far as making the postseason, I think there's a lot of pressure that's just on the Tigers to just kind of stave it off, because even a nice cushion like that would be 4.5. But at the same time, it's, you lose these 2 games, you don't look good doing it if you're the Tigers. For the Guardians, you win these 2 games, you look great doing it. And now you got this one today. If they get to Tarek Skubal somehow and they beat Tarek Skubal today, I think there's a drumbeat going on here about coming back in this division. I mean, there's still over a week left to go, and you got 11 games left, like you said. Like there's plenty of baseball to be played. You'd have 10 after this, but my God, there's the drumbeat going on here. Yeah,
I just look at it though. If we lose today, the division will seem like it's shot, even though it won't be. It's not like you're mathematically eliminated. And then because you're chasing both Seattle and Boston, the schedules, I would say we have a little easier schedule than they do, because Boston still has the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
No, they're done with the Yankees. They have Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, in addition to their one athletics game. Seattle has Colorado, but they also have Houston and the Dodgers. So I know we don't do a lot of schedule game in baseball, but we're all down.
If you're going to do schedule game, this is the time to do schedule.
Yeah, give us 10 games.
Yes. We're all down to our final 11 games.
Well, we have 11. We're playing a doubleheader on Saturday to make up from a rainout with Minnesota earlier. So that's why Vogt went to this 6-man rotation too, so that you weren't doing a bullpen day on a doubleheader day, that you also maybe had to do a bullpen day and maybe have a game that you have to use 4 or 5 relievers. Now you're hoping that all of these starters, Parker Messick, who he brought up and has looked really good in his first 4 starts, slots in there, and then he'll have hopefully the unfortunate decision of figuring out who's going to be the starting rotation for a wild card series at least. But let's, we can burn that bridge.
Yeah, worry about it when we get there.
So let's make our decisions here. Who has more pressure on him?
I still think we do.
We do?
Yeah.
We're talking overall for the next week and a half.
Yeah, just because.
Well, they're the ones that are in.
Just because we lose one game. Yeah. We lose one game. It seems like the division is probably shot, and then the wild card gets tough. It's like
very murky.
Now, granted, we can lose a game and still make the wild card. We can maybe lose 2 and get to the wild card. But it's just these teams between Seattle and Boston. We've passed Texas, right?
Right.
But then that brings Texas right back into the fray.
If you lose Texas a shot to at least knock us back.
I feel like we can't afford to lose any ground whatsoever, and Detroit has more wiggle room.
Yeah,
but you're thinking psychology.
Well, I'm thinking emotionally, because I'm an emotional person. But you're right. Like if the Guardians win today, we're going to be on cloud nine. We're going to be excited. But the Tigers can still walk back in the clubhouse and go, "Well, you're still 3.5 games up." Like there's still 3.5 games with just over a week left to go in baseball. It's a lot. I mean, that is a lot. And there's been collapses before, but it would be the word historical has to be thrown in front of it. And when you put historical in there, there's pressure of not having a historical collapse, but that's why you call it historical, because it usually doesn't happen. And then there's just the fact of, hey, they can still win the division as long as you get into the postseason. That's perfectly fine. So then I think you factor in the pressure. And I'm going to make this an even bigger question. Who's under more pressure? Is it the Guardians? Is it the Red Sox? Or is it like the Seattle Mariners? I think that right now, the Red Sox, they always have a significant amount of pressure. So I would definitely say that they have more pressure than you do.
The one thing that they hold all the tiebreakers over everyone that's
they do hold the cards
in all the wild card scenarios.
Yes.
The Red Sox have the tiebreaker over all of those in the head-to-heads. So that at least gives them some pause. Pressure for a week and a half, the Guardians definitely have it over the Tigers. Pressure for today, though. I think the Tigers have way more pressure today.
Oh, I think you're right.
Than the Guardians do.
I think you're right.
But if you lose this game, it definitely turns the pressure up for the Guardians for those last 10 games up to 11.
The weird thing about baseball is that yesterday was the must-win. You had Jack Flaherty on the mound. He struggled for the most part this year. Yesterday was the must-win. Today, it's like, all right, Tarek Skubal's on the mound. You got one of your best in Tanner Bybee, which, again, he's been a little scattershot in his own right. But you got one of the best in Tanner Bybee going. It'd be great to win today, but yesterday was the must-win that you actually got. 216-474-0092. Well, who does have more pressure? How does it feel with who has more pressure there? Would it be us? Would it be the Tigers? You can even look at the wild card if you want to. 216-474-0092. Would it be the Red Sox? Would it be the Seattle Mariners? Because I think fans are feeling very, very good right now. When you got a guy like Bo Naylor who's getting hot and then breaking games open, it's the type of baseball that you have to play to be able to get to where you want to go, which is the postseason. And it's only week 3, but feels like one big name's about to snap already. Ken Carman, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work, obviously, on the free Odyssey app, and then watch us at work. Unless you're operating heavy machinery, then you need to use the Odyssey app. But if you're sitting at a desk, please turn us on YouTube Live. It's absolutely free.
Anthony Lima for Floors.
free roof and attic inspection, plus flexible financing. The genius move? Working with Home Genius. Expert guidance, personalized service. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855 the letter U, the letter R, Genius.
The Guardians playoff push continues in the final 2 weeks of the season. Can Stephen Vogt and the Guardians earn a second straight run to the playoffs? This is the place to talk about it. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
6:43. Are you willing to guarantee it? Also, Mary Kay Cabot going to join us coming up at 8:20 this morning.
What, Browns win? Browns win? You get a guarantee at home?
No. You need a kindergarten class to call me up.
Well, they're first graders now.
It's true.
Life's come at them hard.
I'm surprised they're not at juvie since their life has gone straight to hell since I promised them something they didn't get. I let them kids down.
How dire the situation with the kids for Ken to feel like his back was against the wall so much that he would guarantee a Browns win over the Packers this week.
I certainly hope no one calls in with their child today and wants Ken to guarantee a victory.
No, oh my God. No, today would not be the day to do that.
Don't put me under that type of thing.
At 216-474-0092.
What's the spread? What's the spread? Yeah, don't put us. No.
We're at 8.5.
I have it right here.
I'm not doing it.
Hold on here. Oh, that's 9.5.
Oh, it went up.
I don't care about your kids calling in this week on this one. I can't do it, guys. It can't happen.
Yeah, and we don't want it, just to make it clear.
Yeah.
We do not want that.
Owen and Mitch do.
We're
or
telling
Owen
people,
and Lima do.
No, do not sidetrack the show.
I don't.
With that kind of a call.
No, what's the number again?
Before school at 216-474-0092.
Okay. Lima is about to do Champions Pose here, I think, any week.
Why would I do such a thing?
Well, yesterday there was the press conferences that went on in the locker room. Jerry Jeudy was giving his press conference, and ladies and gentlemen, the great Jeff Shadell. Seems that he might have got it under Jerry's skin.
It looked like the Ravens defensive back really had you guys covered tightly. What can you guys...
You watch film? You watch the film?
I watched the game.
Did you watch the film or you watched the game?
I did not watch the film. So did they not have you guys covered tight?
Watch the film and come back and ask me.
I'm going to ask you though, what can you guys do to get more separation?
Just keep running routes.
Did they not? Did they not have you covered tightly?
I watched the game.
Did you watch the film? I would like to see. By the way, this should be. The Browns are really good at monetizing a lot of their behind-the-scenes shows.
Yes.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy, Jeff Shadell, Jerry and Jeff in a film room.
Hannity and Combs.
This is the easiest thing ever. I'm going to print you money, Cleveland Browns. Get Jeff in there. It needs to be like a seven.
That would be like
seven camera shoot.
It would honestly be the Cleveland media version of Between Two Ferns. Jeff's just sitting there going, so you couldn't get separation on that.
Well, is that right there, though? Was that there?
You're going to end up being right. How's it feel?
No, I don't want to be right. There's nothing to be right about.
It's week 3. He's cracking. You can tell, and you were calling it from training camp. You were calling it from training camp. And already it's not technically fall yet. And you're watching the game? You're watching the film? Okay. Like, oh boy. Which I hate to admit this. Guys, do I say it? I'm going to say it. What's the percentage of people who want change in this organization? Fans.
Oof, feels like it's the highest it's been.
More Gardo's coming up at 6:43, I promise. Throw a number on there. Give me a number. Owen, go. Percentage, go.
80.
Oh, it's that high?
80%.
I wasn't going to go that high.
I'd be willing to say it's 75.
Whoa. Yeah. Even after, with the rookies, look as good as they've looked?
Yeah. I've had like one person go, Ken, you're turning on Kevin. How dare you? I go, I'm not turning on Kevin. I got no defense of him anymore. It's not even turning. It's just I have to see the truth. Guys, if you want change, Jerry ain't going anywhere. Jerry's got a contract. Yeah, you're going to want more. You're going to want more Jadeveon Clowney situations and Kumbaya situations, guys. There comes a point where the season is still like You got Green Bay this week, and I don't think a lot of people think they have a chance to win that football game. But if you get to a certain point, you're going to have to make it abundantly clear that this is just a situation that cannot be continued. And so you have to kind of hope that things get kind of scary, that there is not a mutiny for crying out loud, but there is a programmatic non-fit now with where the players are and where the coaches are and the front office is, and that you would have to hope for something like that. I don't want to root for it yet because it's September 18th, for crying out loud. But I think there's a lot of people, they were fed up at the end of last year. I think there's a lot of people who've gone into this year with a cynical attitude, and I can't attack them for that. And I think that they're looking more forward to 2026 and talking about people there and seeing whether or not that these rookies can get going. But boy, if I got Jerry Jeudy, already getting a little bit tight with and Jeff, I'll give Jeff credit. Jeff can push some buttons. Jerry Jeudy ain't the first. He probably ain't going to be the last. That gets a little bit hot with Jeff over some questions. Jeff's a good guy, and Jeff can ask some questions that'll make some players get a little bit irritated, and Jerry was clearly irritated there. But Jerry's an easily irritable person. And I think that this is probably the start. I got to tell you, Tone. I mean, we'll get into the DeJuan Jones saga coming up at 7 o'clock. Because before I go attacking my media brethren here, I got to get some things figured out. So I'm going to kind of run some things past you and Owen on this, and maybe past some of the listeners as well. Because I'm just a bit confused about things right now, about where people are on that, and more on that coming up at 7 o'clock. But with Jerry being upset, you kind of got to, if you guys want what you want, you're going to need more of that. You're going to definitely need more of that. I got Miles after week 2. Bleeps embarrassing. I got Jerry Jeudy between week 2 and 3 getting after it with Jeff Shadell. What's more to come? Because these are both guys with contracts. Miles is going nowhere. Again, you're Mr. Burns as a Browns fan going, never forget, you're here forever. That's it. So those guys ain't going anywhere. It would be the front office and coaching staff now that would have to be jettisoned to.
Well, look, I want to be clear. Jerry Jeudy is not unique in somebody like him, first-round wide receiver. Things aren't going well to start the year. He's thinking, hey, I'm the number one. I'm going to show everybody that I'm not just a number one on the Browns. I'm a number one in the NFL. I see what Malik Neighbors is doing over there. I see what Justin Jefferson is doing. I can do that. Look at my route running. And then you have somebody in the media questioning, hey, it looked like the receivers weren't getting open this week. And by the way, we have our own coach on staff here, who you can hear, especially on the pregame show on Sunday. He's saying the same thing, Kenny. Mm-hmm. He thought that the routes looked terrible, looked very basic, and guys...
Talk about Lance?
Yeah, guys were loafing.
Lance, yeah.
I mean, and they're not alone. I mean, I'm seeing more and more people point that out. So it's not like Shadell just made that up out of nowhere. That's certainly what people who actually have looked at the film are saying. Now, it's only 2 weeks. It is amazing what can happen if you just have a good game on Sunday. We see upsets all the time in the NFL. I know Vegas doesn't think you got a shot in hell at home, but crazier things have happened. Green Bay has wide receivers that are out for this game. Is their tight end out for this game too? So it's not like our defense can't hang in there and make things really, really difficult. Just ask Lamar Jackson for a lot of that game. Just ask Joe Burrow.
But you're asking a ton of the defense.
I know.
And this is where I think that a lot of people are worried about going. Or, again, they may be hoping that it happens because they're damn sick and tired of watching an offense that can't score 20 points over what seems to be the last calendar year. I mean, the last time they scored over... You want to talk about this offense here for a second here? And, guys, again, this is where I can no longer defend what the offense is. It's just going on so long where the defense or the explanations become excuses. We're going, you don't have a healthy Nick Chubb, you don't have a healthy this, that, the other. No. Let's talk about it in real terms. The last time he scored over 20 points was in a loss against the Denver Broncos in December of last year. You know how many games Nick Kovac gave me this from 8 the other day? You know how many games they've gone without a 100-yard rusher now? The Browns.
No, how many?
Take a guess. No, I don't want you to overguess it because then it's going to seem like not enough. You ready for this number? 27.
Oh, I was going to say 13.
I was going to say 24.
27 games without a 100. Chubb, right? I'm assuming it was.
But he was hurt for a year and then didn't play half.
27 bleeping games without a 100-yard rusher. You can't score over 20 points, brother. You can't win.
And your team, a team that's offensive approach is founded on the run, supposedly going into this year.
Exactly. I got Devin Bush, who for the first time is starting to really come to fruition and start to look like a bit of a first-round pick here. Where I had Steelers fans texting me going, "Where's this guy?"
Oh, they were all making fun of him.
What was this guy? Well, Pony was calling him Devin Bust. And I got Devin Bush playing well. I got Carson Swessinger, obviously looks like he's going to be something for the future. I thought Mason Graham was having another pretty solid football game again. Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett. The secondary without Denzel Ward, that might get a little rough. But you got the defense playing as hard as they can, as best as they can, as well as they can, and they're a pretty good defense against a two-time MVP. And you can't get anything going offensively. And then the special teams is even worse. So if you can't get the nose up on this, yeah, man, there's going to be a lot of frustration. Because right there starts to tell me when you were watching tape, there's already a little bit of dissension there. There's a little bit of eyeballing people as it's quickly as you're getting your air and you can barely get together with your position group as you're getting ready. It's already 3rd down and long, and we're getting ready to put helmets back on and go back out there. Like that's going to be a problem. You get off the field on a big stop against Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and now all of a sudden something stupid's happening. I got to go out there and defend in my own red zone again. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem for a lot of people. 216-474-0092. I'm excited, very excited, but am I willing to guarantee it? Ken Carman, Tone Master General, and your Guardians in 5 minutes on the Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for.
The Young Team, you should too. Google the Young Team and start packing.
Traffic is late this morning. 480 east from 176 to Warrensville Center, 77 north from Gent to 90, and 90 east from West 117 to Bishop. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
When you want the latest on the Browns, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
8:20 this morning. Well, how close is Dylan Gabriel to playing then? Just how the hell close is he? Because if it don't go well on Sunday, well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm distracted.
That's fine.
I'm trying to get a photo on Grok. You know, that's AI for social media here.
I don't mess with that stuff.
I'm trying to get a photo of Jerry Jeudy and Jeff Shadell at the movies with the title Jerry and Jeff at the movies. So that's what I'm working on.
Well,
if I sound distracted.
You're an ass.
I don't know if Jeff can go because he doesn't watch films.
But that's the whole point. We're going to get them together. Popcorn. Okay, they got the Jerry Jeudy part of it right.
You guys are idiots.
I don't know if they know who Jeff Shadell is. I did put in Cleveland sports reporter Jeff Shadell.
What's it giving you?
Well, it's giving me a white guy. It's giving me a white guy and Jerry Jeudy.
Just that looks like Vince Cellini. Right. That doesn't look like Jeff Shadell.
Come on.
Oh, your thing's moving around, by the way. All right, fine. Here we go. The Guardians win today. Are you willing to guarantee they're making the postseason? Come on.
Yeah. You know what? Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. I'm doing it.
I thought you'd be measured. This is crazy.
Yes. Absolutely.
Why? Tell me why. Because you want to be wrong once, or what? What is it? What is it? What's the backhanded thing
I feel like they can back it up for one. I think this going to the 6-man rotation looks like a stroke of genius, and they've got Detroit. I gotta be honest, they got Detroit very nervous, and I only know that because I have one Tigers friend in my arsenal, someone I went to school with at Ohio State. He's from Northwest Ohio, and he has been ripping into us all year on text threads. I only have one situation where this is happening, because I don't have any other friends that root for any other teams. But I have Big Mike, who went to Toledo State John High School. He's a good basketball player.
Your friend named Big Mike.
Went up against Carlos Boozer in the AAU circuit.
Big Mike sounds like a guy.
Does he have Mud Hens ticket?
He's 6'5", 6'6". Big Mike.
Big Mike sounds like a guy who did some drinking back in the day.
Oh, we had a good time. But he has been laying into us all year. And I'm like, I don't care, Mike, I don't care. This isn't our year. It's not good. And yeah, I buried us, many times on this text thread.
Wow.
And then they win yesterday.
Anthony Dolan buried the Guardians?
I did. And then they win yesterday, and he's like, whatever, we got Scooble tomorrow. And so, of course, I sent him the Grand Slam last year. And
I like how you do trash. This is I've never heard of Big Mike.
Then it proceeded to be a bunch of go Browns. How the Browns looking? How the Browns? So he changed it. He pivoted immediately from baseball to football.
Well, that means that he's nervous.
What does that tell you?
That means that he's nervous.
So next week is the biggest week in the Big Mike Lima relationship.
It's huge.
You guys.
We
I haven't seen him in years.
And the Lions
we should get. You haven't seen Big Mike in years?
We have to have him on.
Where does Big Mike live?
He lives in Columbus.
Oh, he lives in Columbus. Yeah. Okay, why don't have Big Mike on the show?
Okay.
Have him share a story about you back in the day where you didn't wash your sheets.
We have a lot. And
then your sister got very mad at you because she acts like your mother, which sometimes you need it. All right. Which people are calling you rat boy now because they're going back to your childhood. If the Guardians win today, it's going to be hard to hold back because it would feel like would it feel like it's almost fate if they were to win today against Tarek School? I mean, you get a sweep against the Detroit Tigers in mid-September. And you finish it off against Tarek School. I mean, come on, guys. It's going to be hard to not be exuberant at around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be feeling real good.
It's going to be real hard to not be excited like that.
Yes.
So if they go out there and they win it today, I don't want to say the word guarantee because, we've had the Grady Sizemore getting it lost in the sun. I think back in, what year was it, 2008, if I'm not mistaken, against the White Sox. I mean, you've had other instances where things haven't gone your way, but man, it would feel about as good as it possibly could be. That if you get a sweep against the Tigers, I don't know, hey, you got the Twins coming up and this, that, and the other, but if you get a sweep against the Tigers, I feel is about as good as I ever have, Owen. I don't want to say guarantee because I think once guys like us say guarantee,
well then people get mad at us if the team loses.
Yes. Which it doesn't matter because you had a guy like Paul Hoynes who say like, I'll walk out into the lake if they make a... And it's like, well, they're going to go after you anyway, but I don't want to guarantee it, but at the same time, how good are you feeling about it? When guys like Bo Naylor are hitting so well. When your starting rotation does so well. Again, the other day, let me give Stephen Vogt some credit here, that I think a lot of people, my phone even, you talk about buddies, they were upset to see Tim Herron go into the ball game. There's very little fan confidence in Tim Herron at that point. And again, you got people who are watching, they're very hand to mouth on the Guardians, where it's like, hey, they don't pay attention to the things that Stephen Vogt would pay attention to, fantasy baseball people would pay attention to, or big baseball people, high school baseball coaches would. They don't pay attention to it like that. But I think for a lot of fans, that when you have a guy like Tim Herron go in, there's very little confidence whatsoever. He goes out there, he strikes out the side. He already starts the inning with one on because he gets brought out there after the first batter gets on base. I think that's a good moment where everybody's kind of playing off each other, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. And you're finding the confidence right at the right time where you're still able to save this season. So when it comes to guarantees, you can put a lot of things on a box. I don't want to go that far with it. But, man, you beat that team with Tarek School today. I think you're feeling about as good as you possibly can. And I think you need to make, again, a clear delineation between the owner of the ball club and then everybody else so you can properly enjoy it. Because the things don't fall off of trees. And so if they are able to make this run, and they will win today, or if they do win today, and they do end up making the postseason, you got to be able to enjoy it as best you can, which I know sounds weird because I do sound like Paul Dolan when I say that, but I think you have to make that differentiation, or you're not going to have any fun whatsoever.
But Ken, is it now the time, even if you hated everything they stood for in the offseason, even if during the 10-game losing streak, you were on record saying this is it, ownership, sell the team, maybe even bring in a new GM, we're now losing trades, look at what Josh Naylor's doing. Fine, whatever you said back then, whatever anybody said back then, can you not have fun with this, especially if they win today? Can't you put that behind you and say, screw that? Wouldn't it be fun to be in a playoff game, playoff series, and start to get excited about? We know what's happened with the football team. My God, can't we find something to rally around?
Certainly, yes, but there will be ramifications if they don't, where it's going to go back to the old thought. And then again,
you know what? Then they deserve that. Fine, they deserve that. But we can't deny that they have a chance to have a lot of fun here over the next 2 weeks and maybe the month.
216-474-0092. Kevin in Cleveland. Hello, Kevin.
Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
We're doing okay, Kevin. Go right on ahead.
I just think it's funny that at the beginning of this Guardian season, after we saw how poorly we were playing, no one was talking about postseason. We were talking about possibly a new manager or possibly, trying to add some pieces. And now here we are.
Who was that? Wasn't this show? I didn't talk about new. No one on this show said new manager, for crying out loud.
Not this show. This show.
Okay.
I'm just saying. On Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And now here we are, we're talking about one more game, and there's a possibility. I want to give a lot of credit to Stephen Vogt there. I mean, given what he's been given and all of the call-ups we've had, and they actually went pretty well for a second-year manager, I think that's pretty outstanding.
I think you're right about that. I mean, Twitter is a crazy place. I understand what you're saying there, Kevin. I mean, you had people there thinking they were losing on purpose, trying to tank it out for number one picks and things like that. That's insane. I agree with you there. The internet's weird, but in our world, Kevin, and thank you very much for the call. It's a love-hate with the. It's not a love-hate. It's a respect-hate with the owner, because I can respect the owner that he's a responsible owner and he does try to do things right without the money that he's not willing to spend. So that's a weird way to go about it. It's all right, yeah, I know you're cheap, but at the same time, I think you're responsible. You let people do what's right, and I think you're a good owner. I think he'd be a great owner in the NFL. I think he'd be like the Rooneys in the NFL. But there's also where Stephen Vogt's able to pull the right strings and get the guys to play well, because you have to have an emotional person to get people to play emotionally, especially young guys like that. Because we got to a point there where Carlos Santana was just basically let go so he can go make a run with somebody else. And the Cubs just got into the postseason last night. So that's the first time since, 2020 they made the postseason, which is that 60-game schedule thing. So good luck to Carlos, whatever, but that's where we were at right then. And so when you're 2 games out, yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to the manager and some of the guys that are coming through here. 216-474-0092. More coming up on About Last Night, where the Guardians might be reigniting the rivalry. And I just want to make sure my head isn't in the sand. So I need to figure out, with these 2 guys in here and you guys there, what everyone's problem is with Kevin Stefanski and DeJuan Jones yesterday. I will admit, I thought they gave an explanation. I'm confused over the anger. Ken Carman, Anthony Lyman, take us with you to work on the absolutely positively free Odyssey app. Boy, you're going to feel like you're getting a great deal when you get to
Night football starts tonight at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
All the Browns and NFL news you may have missed at work. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
We have some audio for people later this hour of another station in Detroit. They are starting to get very nervous about things.
As well they should be.
I want to know if they're really mad or really nervous or they're doing it for effect. I want to know.
Do you think we'll be able to discern as a show that's done that before?
Maybe we'll do it around 8 o'clock. 216-474-0092. So I'm going on a fishing expedition here, guys. Because I listened to the broadcast. While I was watching the broadcast. And I looked out there and I go, that ain't 79 out there. That's 72. That's KT Levinston's music. And then all of a sudden I heard Nathan go, well, I said, he goes, KT Levinston's out there. Leviston is out there. And then we didn't know about DeJuan Jones. I thought DeJuan Jones got hurt.
That does not sound like an offensive lineman, by the way.
No, it sounds like a singer. I'm thinking of Katie Lang, ain't I?
KT Tunstall?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Or a lawyer, KT Levinson and Associates. Like, that does not sound like someone you want to have come in.
That's a billboard on 95 in Florida. Yeah. KT Leviston gets you top dollar.
Yeah, I don't know if you want a person with that name playing offensive line, even in a spot situation.
So
in the heat.
So anywho,
the Baltimore Heat.
It's not like he's 5'8", 185 playing offensive line.
He came back in later on.
Yeah.
And Nathan had even said, he's like, I don't understand. It didn't seem that DeJuan was struggling. Nathan's like, I didn't notice him struggling. And I'm like, good, because I didn't really notice him struggling either. I know he had that false start, but I didn't really notice him either. So Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and this is from yesterday's press conference or yesterday's media availability. He mentioned heat-related issues between Denzel Ward and DeJuan Jones from Sunday.
Again, that's heat-related. We'll see what the temperature looks like coming up.
Can you sort of explain what was going on with him? I know it was cramping, but he's young, he's healthy. I
would tell you, it was warm. So these guys, you can fight those, and a lot of our players are excellent athletes, but that heat can certainly cause those type of things.
All right. So there was that. And then DeJuan Jones, during interviews in the locker room, DeJuan Jones was asked about the situation, and he said this about what led out to him sitting out a few plays against the Ravens.
I wasn't dehydrated. It was just coach's precaution to take me out. It was nothing, wrong with me. He just wanted to make sure I was okay for the rest of the game. College, I feel like we had way more plays. So honestly, it was just up to Coach Stefanski. There's nothing I really can control.
Okay. What am I missing? Because he had a day where he rode back in the cart and people were going, oh, God, he hurt himself again. And they went, no, it was a heat-related issue in training camp. That's what I thought, and I drew conclusions there. And I don't know if we want to play Jonathan and Nick. Jonathan went crazy. You know what? Ross Tucker was on Afternoon Drive. Here's Ross Tucker talking about DeJuan. I mean, he was on the call, so here's Ross Tucker talking about DeJuan Jones coming back into the game.
I'll tell you what I definitely haven't seen before is a left tackle come in on second down, the starting left tackle to come back in the game on second down. I don't know what happened there. I can't remember. Was it a TV timeout or something, or was it the end of the quarter? But I know this. Leviston went out there and
it was the flag on Leviston.
Adafe Owe beat him immediately. And then I think on that drive, at some point, DeJuan Jones came back into a game on a drive. So I don't know why he was out. That I think it can be pre-planned to get guys a breather. I'd be surprised. I'm not familiar with a plan where you send the starting left tackle back out there mid-series, like on second down, unless it's an injury or unless he was cramping up like Denzel Ward and he needed whatever, needed fluids or treatment or whatever. And then when he was good, they're like, okay, get back out there for Leviston.
What am I missing?
Well, it's a DeJuan said that it was a coach taking me out for those measures, but he said he was fine. Dewan is saying he was fine.
So they took him, but that's what I'm saying.
And Ross Tucker's saying that's bizarre. That doesn't happen.
It's not normal. It's not normal. Do you want to play Peterlin? This is a bit long here. I'm afraid I'm going to be even more confused. Here, Peterlin got upset, went nuts. Here's Peterlin.
I kind of appreciate from his side of things to stick up for himself and be like, I'm not going to just let you put it out there that I had some sort of heat warning when you're the one that just took me out of the game.
No, I just got benched. Is that better?
Well, I think so. Stefanski's trying to protect him. Clearly, he's trying to protect him. But if I'm DeJuan Jones, I think I want the actual answer on record. I don't know how many different ways DeJuan Jones can tell you he didn't have any sort of heat-related issues. That was Stefanski benching him.
I honestly think you helped the player more if you were just like, we didn't like what we saw out of DeJuan. He was struggling. We wanted to give him a breather, and so we put Leviston in, and we want to see what Leviston had. By the way, still a Herculean dumb idea. You do that in practice.
Well,
not against the Baltimore freaking Ravens.
Maybe that's what he's trying to...
Oh, is he protecting himself?
Yeah, because, think about it, because then Leviston got the penalty, and then they just yanked him right back out. It's like, if Leviston hadn't gotten that penalty, he might have played the rest of the game, and then maybe in that instance, Stefanski's like, well, it worked out well for us. He turned out to have a pretty good game, but Leviston got the penalty, and I think he was just like, all right, that was a dumb idea. Let's go back to DeJuan now.
So the coach said the same thing twice. DeJuan Jones says that wasn't the case, and now we're left with this position of like, I don't really know how to move forward with this, just that I think it needs to be on the record that it's apparent their message isn't the same, and DeJuan Jones would like it on the record that this was not heat-related.
Well, he said precautionary. DeJuan said precautionary.
Yeah.
By the way, it wasn't just... I'm not ripping on Jonathan yet. I need help. I don't know what the issue is.
I think the player...
It's bizarre that he's pulled out, and that's why it's like, well, what explains the bizarre nature of it? Well, precautionary because of heat. You had Denzel Ward go down because of cramps. This is a precaution because of heat. So these are bizarre, extenuating circumstances.
So it's because he's the biggest dude on the team. He may have had...
He already had a heat-related issue in camp.
Yeah, he had an issue in camp, but DeJuan's saying, I'm fine. I can play.
He said precautionary. DeJuan said precautionary. So I don't know if they pulled him out because of... I know for a fact, this is for a fact, they do like sweat studies and weigh bottles of water or fluid and then do like weight and stuff like that to make sure that they... it's a whole big thing that their athletic staff does. I mean, I've seen them do it. So I know that there's
doing this in game? They
have to be.
I mean, technology wise, you can read a guy's heartbeat now during a game, right?
Have to. They wear the patches that tells them how much you're sweating and all that other stuff. Yeah, man. There
they have
has
access
to be
that data in game.
I would imagine they do.
So did somebody come up to Stefanski and go, DeJuan started this game at 320 and now he weighs 316.
I don't. Well, you got to weigh. I don't know if they're weighing between plays or between series or anything like that. But I
don't know that the union would be happy about that.
Sodium levels have dropped.
You want to keep them healthy, don't you?
Yeah, but you don't want guys getting benched who are in different positions, maybe trying to hit incentives. Offensive line's different, but
I don't think
that's all speculation on all that.
If you were to say he struggled, I think he struggled in the game more against Cincinnati. I don't think he struggled as much in the game against the Ravens. And when you put him back out there, it would be as Ross would say, it's like, all right, we need him out there because this guy can't. He's the backup for a reason. We need DeJuan back out there. He wouldn't just pull DeJuan.
I guess it would be one thing because I think we're all a little confused.
I'm very confused, and I just saw a lot of people getting upset in my media brethren. I go, well, hold on here, man. Maybe I'm just a little bit slow on this one.
Okay, it's not like the forecast snuck up on them, right? They knew what the weather was. It would be one thing if Coach had prepared DeJuan before the game as well as his backup and said, look, we're going to be monitoring this very closely.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that throughout the game we're communicating. If you are needing a breather, let me know. But DeJuan is saying, I was fine. Coach did this for these reasons. But it sounded like DeJuan was surprised. Like he wasn't really told in the heat of the moment, pardon the pun, what the situation would be.
Was a good pun. I'll give you that. I know you didn't mean to do it.
No, I didn't.
So he wasn't told why he was being pulled?
Other than it was precautionary, but DeJuan is saying that I didn't need to be pulled in, less words.
So there's an issue there.
I think there's a lack of communication going on.
So this is what I'm wondering. I'm trying to draw conclusions here. There's a total lack of communication, and I think everybody's confused by getting into it. So when we're confused, we tend to overreact with anger because we don't know. He had a heat-related issue in camp. They probably did. I'm imagining, I have no idea. I'm imagining they did a study on him in camp after this heat-related issue. They probably had something that told them that he was approaching that same level of where he was at the camp with the heat-related issue, and they pulled him out of there as a precautionary measure. DeJuan said, I'm good to go. I don't need this. I'm good to go. And then they put him back out there. And then he probably reached it again.
All right, so we have to be ready. This is going to happen again this week because it's going to be even warmer, right? It's 81.
It's supposed to be 80. It's supposed to be 80 on Sunday.
So we have to be prepared for this. And, you're going up against Micah Parsons, who's healthy. You're going up against that defensive line, maybe the best in football.
It's in
a game that could be hotter.
All right. It's not optimal. It's certainly not optimal, that's for sure.
Can I ask you, what does this mean, the future of just DeJuan in general? Because did such a great job getting in shape.
That it's still
especially
up in the
after
air.
the injury last year.
That it's still up in the air.
How many offensive linemen are they searching for this next offseason?
Maybe all 5, for crying out loud, from what I know. He's only been at the position for 2 games. Mm-hmm. And in the first game, he struggled a bit. He certainly struggled a bit. By the way, the fourth quarter came around late in the game. It wasn't that hot out last week, 2 weeks ago, but it was late in the game. When did he start to really struggle? Late in the game against Cincinnati. So you're definitely tired. You're as Jimmy Johnson said in the documentary that you've watched, let the mind control the body. Don't let the body control the mind. So he starts to have a penalty. They're monitoring him. They pull him out for it is absolutely bizarre, and it doesn't give me much confidence for his future. It's absolutely bizarre. But I wonder why the anger and the frustration. I ain't gonna lie, I saw Emmett get mad about it. I saw our guys get mad about it. I go, what's there to be mad about? It just ain't optimal. It doesn't inspire confidence. I need him out there for the entire game. You're an offensive lineman. You really don't come off the field unless you're really hurt. So it doesn't inspire any confidence. Is that what we're mad about? I mean, he worked as hard as he could to get in better shape. He was in worse shape last year.
Kenny, I was blown away by seeing him in camp. When we talked to him, we interviewed him, especially coming off the injury. I thought his weight was going to be a massive problem again this year because of that. And then he came into camp the best he's ever looked.
He was in good shape. Did he lose too much? I don't know what it is. Did he lose too much weight too soon? I don't know what it is. Mary Kay Cabot joins us at 8:20 this morning. I mean, the whole thing is absolutely bizarre. More on guys getting upset later on because Jerry Jeudy got into it a little bit with Jeff Shadell. Also, Harold Fannin Jr. had an answer for Jeff Shadell earlier in the process. So we'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. And it's a bad look for the league, and it has to stop. That in 5 minutes on the Fan. Daisy Dips.
Race, the Guardians now trailing the Red Sox and the Mariners by 2.5 games. Browns left guard Joe Bitonio did not practice on Wednesday, dealing with a sore back. We'll see if he's out there today. Browns back to practice in Berea. Coming up Sunday, entertain the Packers, who come into the contest at 2-0. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. Starts tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
.45 with the Guardians reigniting the rivalry with the Detroit Tigers. Also, we have radio show hosts in Detroit who are really nervous as we get ready for a 1 p.m. game later on today. And your Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
Taking on the Detroit Tigers.
We'll ponder this for later. You'd still rather be the Tigers, obviously, than the Guardians today, right? But is that going to be the case at this time? No, later today. Is that going to be the case at 4:15 today?
We'll discuss either issue coming up later on. 216-474-0092. So I am confused by because the people on social media, by the way, are making more sense than anything I heard yesterday. Because there was a couple of people. Twitter reactions brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. When it comes to DeJuan Jones, Chris says it seems like they had a plan, and regardless of the actual game situation, they stuck with it. Andy had said anyone that's ever experienced a heat-related illness knows it's much more likely to have another. Yeah, I bet they put him on a plan after training camp, after the incident in training camp. If the heat index reaches some sort of level, then they're going to pull him from that spot. And I'm sure it's frustrating to DeJuan Jones, but they're going to do what they're going to do. So if you put it on the training staff, it's like, well, look, I think that they're doing everything they possibly can to get a person hydrated and ready to go, but these are issues that they have to deal with. Because, I mean, once somebody has a heat-related issue, I bet you're going to monitor that, especially if you're an NFL football team, especially after what happened when you and I were kids. Well, you were older than me, but you get what I'm saying, when I was a kid. So it is bizarre. It is absolutely bizarre. But I think when you take into account everything that's happened before, it's something that, well, if it's hot on Sunday, which it's supposed to be, high 81? That's warm. On the field, what's the field temperature going to be? Probably warmer than that.
782 degrees.
All right, I wouldn't be.
And what's it going to be like?
In the words of Juvenile, 400 degrees.
And what's it going to be like wearing all brown, dark uniforms? What's it going to be then, Kenny?
Dale Earnhardt drove a black car, and he was perfectly cool and calculated behind the wheel. Don't you say an effing word in there. Don't you say a word.
I was just going to say he had the screen on the side, though. The windows were open.
It's true. No, I thought you were going to say something else.
Kind of heat-related that he turned right.
Okay. I knew you were going to do it.
Okay.
I knew you were going to do it. You couldn't help it, could you? You couldn't help it. Mary Kay Cabot at 8:20. Bring up what you were going to bring up with the offensive line. And I got to get to this.
So I asked off the break, I did some polling in the studio, and it seemed like there was a lot of uncertainty. And so I imagine Browns fans are going through the same uncertainty. They had a great rookie class, or at least it's 2 games in. It looks like a pretty damn good rookie class. A lot to be excited about. However, how many starting offensive line positions are up for grabs for next year?
It could be 5.
Come on.
It could be 5.
Well, let's go through it, honestly.
Let's go through it.
Let's go through it. Right now, left tackle to right tackle. Who's in Sharpie? Who's in pencil?
Your left tackle is DeJuan Jones.
Okay.
That's up in the air.
Seems like it, yeah.
That's up in the air. We're 2 weeks in. Joel Bitonio probably retired after this year. That's an open position. What? You want to bring up Zach Zinter?
No, I'm going through the numbers.
Okay, you're just
That's
putting
2
up the
so far.
The center is Ethan Posick. What's his contract?
His contract, I think, is up, right? He signed a 3-year deal.
3-year deal. This is his 3rd year.
Right guard is Wyatt Teller. Where's his contract? Is it up?
I just put number 4.
It is up after this year.
I have 4 on here.
Your right tackle is Jack Conklin.
5. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That gets a little tricky.
Doesn't make me very happy, or it makes me
well, and that was the one.
A little hot and bothered.
That was the one issue.
What they got to draft this coming year.
Kenny, this show was on record saying we liked the draft immediately after the draft.
Well, you can't. When you've done such a bad job before that, you can't replace them all in one draft.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Sorry for getting upset.
For sure.
Like that. I didn't mean to get mad.
But this is where I didn't understand taking a second running back and taking a second quarterback. Like, man, you have a major position. Look at the Houston Texans. They have the quarterback, at least we thought. When they were beating us in the playoffs, nobody was questioning whether they had the quarterback.
No.
What is everybody questioning today?
If they have the quarterback.
Because of the offensive line.
Or the offensive line is
They
really
have the
bad.
worst offensive line, or one of the worst in football.
People are going after Caleb Williams, even though I didn't think that the tape was that bad. I got to tell you, I watched that Bears game twice because I'm a sicko. And I didn't think...
Is he flashing talent?
I thought he was out there trying to ball out the way he was when he was at USC when he didn't have a great offensive line. I'm telling you right now, he took 4 sacks and they got hammered. But I thought he was trying to make it happen. Now, I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams guy ever. We've talked about that. But I thought he was trying to make it happen. And I told Nathan, and I'm going to throw it in his face tomorrow, when he just poo-pooed me during the draft when I brought up the offensive line over there in Chicago. Offensive line, man, if you ain't got an offensive line, you ain't got a shot in hell of winning a football game in professional football. I mean, it's as hard as it gets. I mean, good God, like that's what made Joe Burrow so, in the words of Nick Wilson, Herculean when they went to the Super Bowl. Because that offensive line wasn't that great to begin with, and then it was in tatters because of injuries. Like that usually doesn't happen. I'm sorry. So, you got to get some things figured out here. And so, I think that Luke Whippler is important. I think Zach Zinter is important. I don't know if Zach Zinter is ready to play or is ever going to be ready to play at this juncture. And then everybody else, I don't know what your future is with those positions because you're going to have to give yourself some wiggle room at some time. So, everything's up for grabs right now.
That just seems like really, we be honest, that seems like really poor planning by the GM. To be in this spot.
Throw another log on the fire.
How many GMs in football have left it up to this kind of ambiguity on the offensive line to where all 5 spots could be up for grabs, and then we're supposed to take quarterback in the first round next year?
What you got to do,
with 2 of your picks?
What you got to do is you got to zig when everyone else zags.
Oof.
I heard it right from him. Okay? Said it right there. What you got to do, if the Eagles are zigging, you got to zag. That's the way it's going to work, brother. But I think he would look at it and say, well, I got you Zach Zinter and I got you Luke Whippler. And by the way, I liked the Zach Zinter pick back in the day. I did. And hopefully he will come around here.
Well, he's been a healthy scratch
it's a critical,
2 weeks.
It's a critical year. Well, that doesn't seem very good for everybody involved. Man, like there's a lot of things that you got to get to figure out. And it just seems like it's going to be too little too late. So, it's probably not the very best planning by the general manager. Yeah, you'd have to say that, certainly. Tom Brady being in the coach's box. I think it's a problem for the NFL. I think it's a bad look for the NFL. I think it needs to go away. I think that, well, you know what? If it's not stopping Tom Brady, then I don't know. Does Charles Woodson call games? Is he in booths and calling games?
Pre-games.
He does pregame, right? What's stopping Charles Woodson from coming into our booth? Bring him into
the pregame show.
Well, bring him off the Hey, if Kirk Herbstreit's able to fly in and do games later on, why can't Charles Woodson do some games? Why can't they just go into Charles Woodson live from Cleveland and he could give his point? I mean, when's the last time First Take they've ever all been in the studio together? It seems that Stephen A. Smith's all over the place, so you can't tell me ESPN can't do that. Do you have a problem with Tom Brady being in the coach's box?
Without a doubt, it's not a good look, which, okay, there's a lot of things that aren't a good look. How problematic is it? That's a different standard. And I just keep thinking, like, we keep looking at it from, well, he is gonna garner all this information. He's gonna absorb all this information, and then he's gonna report back to his team, his coaches, and then it's gonna impact games. It's gonna be on a Connor Stallions level of, holy cow, they're gonna have this decided edge each and every game. And I'm just like, these other coaches don't have to tell him anything. So I don't necessarily think it's going to really be that big of a deal because they're going to know that. And then, the second part of this is when I looked at him in that coaching booth, was he next to Chip Kelly? Was Chip Kelly?
I didn't notice.
Okay.
Yes. I have not noticed.
But he was up there with Chip Kelly. If I'm Chip Kelly, what a great resource it is to have Tom Brady. It's also the guy that is kind of a boss now.
Well, if you're Tom Brady,
do I want that over my shoulder in the games when I'm putting in all the work all week long? I'm busting ass. Chip Kelly's notorious for being a grinder and a guy that is putting his heart and soul into that. Chip Kelly didn't want to go recruiting. He didn't want to do any of that. So they won the national championship. He's like, I'm going up to the NFL where I can just focus on coaching. And then I've got a guy who is doing broadcasting. I've got a guy that has TB12, who has a production company that is in a million different. He was just shaking hands with
the TB12 hat. It got stolen.
What?
Yeah, it's stolen.
I thought all those employees are ex-employees here at the station. Who took it?
You always have radio gremlins. Who knows?
Yeah, no kidding. But Tom Brady is wearing 30.
Mitch probably took it so he can wear it on the YouTube live when he does About Last Night.
Mitch, is this true? Tom Brady is wearing 400 hats right now. And now he's sitting over my shoulder.
One of them might be one he stole back from me.
Now he's sitting over my shoulder, and he's going to have input into the offense. Like, what?
But I don't know if he's having live input into the offense. Like, it's the same, like, it's weird because I think it's a bad look for the league. I think I agree with you.
It's not a good look.
Seeing him in the box, like I've seen Jerry Jones standing on the sideline since I was 5 years old, man. Like I've seen Arthur Blank standing on the sideline since Arthur Blank bought the Falcons, or since I've known that Arthur Blank was the owner of the Falcons. Owners on the sidelines, like Carly Gordon-Ursay with the headsets on, or with the earbuds on and taking notes on the sidelines. That, to me, that's no new thing. But in the box, and especially with his history, I mean, this is a guy who has been suspended for cheating before. So when you have a guy that's in the box, and I know it's a different line of cheating, but when you have a guy that's in the box, I think it's a real bad look for the NFL, and I think it's something that they don't need, and I think it's something that Roger Goodell wouldn't want. I think Tom Brady can be a resource. Now, where I'm going to disagree with you on, and I would disagree with you on principle. I don't know if Tom Brady's doing what you're saying. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm just listening. I am not trying to, during the game, I am not trying to Chip Kelly is an experienced offensive play caller who's done it at a very high level for a very long time. I might put on the headset, but I ain't saying a word to Chip Kelly during that game. If Chip Kelly asks me a question, I will answer the question. But I ain't going to say a word to Chip Kelly. I just want to be in on the communication.
Yeah, maybe he's just listening.
What's going on? Remember, and Geno Smith's done a fine job. Geno Smith's a veteran. I don't know what he's listening for. He might be listening for a lot of other things. He might be going through his own head of what he likes and what he doesn't like.
It was just
I wouldn't be saying a word.
If it's proven that he's giving feedback in the game on what's going on in the game, is that a problem?
I think it is. Yes, certainly.
We cover especially a team in town that had a GM suspended for texting down to the sideline.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
And this guy has access.
That is a good point,
yes,
Owen.
Absolutely. A great point. And absolutely unfettered access almost. And what a team does to get prepared. So he could take his own notes and take everything from what every other team is doing. Now, I think that these teams are going to be tight-lipped, obviously, because it's the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not telling Tom Brady anything if I'm any of these coaches.
You can take in everything there, and then you could try to put together your best practices. The Raiders are that type of football team that they would do that. And Mark Davis has been on the record that he wants Tom Brady heavily involved in football operations as a part owner of that football team. Boomer Esiason had something to say about this. Here's Boomer.
The fact that he's sitting in the Raiders coach's box with the headset on and talking to Pete Carroll, talking to Spytek, their general manager, talking to their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, is complete and utter BS, because the NFL is the ultimate competitive place, and you're allowing a guy to sit there who's a part owner of a team, which is fine, and now he's involved in these game plans. And this week, I guess he's got Bears Cowboys. Yeah. That's probably who he has. And now he's going to be meeting with these coaches and talking about players. That is utter BS, as far as I'm concerned, because it tilts the balance of competitiveness. Because now he has intimate knowledge, obviously, of the team that he owns, the Raiders. He's sitting in there listening and talking to GMs. He's also talking to other coaching staffs and other players around the league. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's not. I know he's going to try to be objective, but how can you be objective when you're in this situation? And why are they allowing this?
You have an investment in that team. Audio courtesy of WFAN, our sister station in New York. You have an investment in this football team. You have and if you're in football operations, you have an egotistical and emotional investment in this football team. And what does this look like? Let's look at the perception of this. Tom Brady's a Hall of Famer who's known. I know that he got suspended for cheating before, but he's known as one of the best football minds out there. If you're another owner there, what if I put on a headset and go in my coach's box? I look like a meddler. I look like if I made Jimmy.
Man, what would we
be saying about Jimmy Haslam if he put on a headset was in the coach's box?
If you're Mark Davis and you had the option to get Tom Brady or any other, or Andy Dalton, right, as the next minority owner of your team, right? obviously you're bringing in Tom Brady.
Of course.
And then you're using one of the greatest minds in the last 30 years in football. And even if you think that it was Belichick that was doing it all.
Well, wait, what's their record right now?
He was still around there.
They're 1-1?
1-1.
And what's the situation right now with the Colts?
They're 2-0.
Maybe instead of Brady, they should have brought in Irsay's daughter.
There was a leverage call at the end of that game.
I also, I didn't know until Boomer said it. Do you know the Raiders GM's name?
Yes,
It's John Spytek. You should not be allowed to have anyone called Spytek.
Spytek. It's right there. It's right there out in the open.
Telling you, it's a bad look. It's a real bad look. And if you're just one of the other owners going, I can't imagine what people would be saying about your Clark Hunt. Hunt. You go in there, you're 0-2, and all of a sudden you show up in the coach's box with headsets on.
These other coaches should start giving him wrong information intentionally. Here's what we like to do. Here's who we really like.
We like to do a Statue of Liberty.
It sounds like an idiot on the
Giants,
broadcast.
and we decided to do a statue.
Quadruple reverse.
You would, if you were one of the other head coaches or one of the other coordinators who they talk to, you would, depending on how they're doing, you might reach a point where you act like an idiot to the point where he gets frustrated and just give him wrong stuff, knowing that maybe he'll hammer you in the broadcast, but it is what it is. I'm not going to give you anything. You are part of one of the other organizations. You're part of the enemy. But at the same time, I don't know, you might be a guy who ends up hiring me. So do I give you the great stuff because you're an owner now and you're in football operations?
He has hiring power. There you go.
Coming up at 9:20 this morning, Brian Baldinger, Odyssey NFL Insider. Would it be a disaster if Dylan Gabriel would have played too soon? We'll ask him that question. Mary Kay Cabot at 8:20. And have the Guardians reignited the rivalry with the Detroit Tigers? We get to that in about last night in 5 minutes on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Diamonds Direct, the corner of Richmond and Cedar Road. Now,
for 92.3 The Fan.
When there's news that affects the Cleveland sports fan, Daryl Ryder is on top of every headline. Listen to his reports on the station with the most local sports talk in town. 92.3 The Fan, powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Sign up to be a part of the fan club. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 92.3 The Fan to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 92.3thefan.com.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0. No one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, and so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
A big series clincher for the Cleveland Guardians last night in a 4-0 victory out in Detroit. Solid outing from starter Gavin Williams, who went 5 shutout innings, allowing just 3 hits and 2 walks, 9 strikeouts on the game, but it wasn't easy, especially starting out. Manager Stephen Vogt talking about the good work between Gavin and his catcher, Bo Naylor.
The four-seam fastball was not there tonight, and so Bo did a nice job going to the sinker and sweeper versus the lefties, and we're seeing it with Gav time in and time out now. It's no matter what he's got, he's going out and competing and giving us a chance.
Once they got out of that situation, the first inning, it was 2 on and 2 out, a 12-pitch at bat to Riley Green that ended in a K. It was smooth sailing from there for Williams and the Guards.
Did it feel to you, Kenny, playoff atmosphere? That was what my buddies were sharing. Like, it's great that these already feel like playoff games.
Yes.
And it also got me thinking.
Does it feel like playoffs to them though?
Man,
to the people in the stadium,
they are.
I felt last night they felt a little tighter.
They are.
The first game of the series. And there's a lot of people at those games.
Yeah.
The first game of the series, I didn't think it was that way. But I thought last night it was a little tighter.
Well, and then it makes me wonder, because you're seeing the bigger crowds, obviously, out in Detroit. And look, they got off to that huge lead. It makes sense that, their fans, they probably purchased tickets. They've had, big crowds all year. Those final 6 games for the Guardians, will it feel like the playoffs there? Meaning, are people running to buy tickets for the 3 games against Detroit and the final 3 against Texas? Like right now, are people starting to buy those tickets, or are they going to wait?
I think they're going to wait. I think they're going to... Owen?
I think they're going to wait.
Okay, but when we get to that point, and we're in the thick of it, and we need to finish out in those final 6 games, we need to go 4-2 or 5-1, do you think the walk-up crowds are going to be huge each and every night?
Yes.
On weeknights especially?
Man, you're putting... a lot of qualifications on it.
I think they'll be good.
I have one qualification. Win 3 out of 4 in Minnesota, and then get back to me. That's where I think we stand. Speaking of the Guardians...
Tough talking, Mitch.
Speaking of the Guardians, 2 pitchers that have been outside of the Guardians roster for a couple of months now, Manuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, now heading over to the Dominican Professional Baseball League. This is according to reports, how these 2 seemingly
Hold on. Can you gamble on that league? That's my first question.
That's not the right word. Can you gamble in that league?
Well, yeah, during pitches, can you get out your phone and do a live bet?
Allegedly.
I'm not alleging.
This basically just certifies they're not coming back this season. It was already kind of in the books, but like if they're focused in on winter ball, then that's it.
I don't know if they're coming back at all.
Right.
Yeah, they just put the tag indefinitely on it. It's indefinite.
As usual with things like this, I'm guessing there is no recourse, but I know we have a lot of legal minds and experts. I meet you guys out in the community, and you're like, oh, I listen all the time. I would never call. Can any lawyers help us out here? Guardians fans who feel like we've had, 2 players stolen from us.
You need a lawyer, sir. Sir, I am about to walk through that courtroom right now.
Are we allowed to have 2 different? Yes, we can do it at the same time. Good. I'm just asking questions.
Sir, I will tell you this.
Counselor, just one question. If we find out that they've been cleared Like the rumors are, when it comes to Malik Beasley, Terry Rozier. If they aren't cleared, what's my recourse as a fan? What is Stephen Vogt's recourse as a manager who had his closer pulled just based on a couple videos online and some wild speculation?
I'll tell you this, sir. I don't know why I decided to talk like this, but I'm going to go with it. I don't know about Terry Rozier or any of the other ones, but Luis and Emmanuel, they can play just as soon as they can play both offense and defense, and for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Once they're able to do that, they're more than welcome to come back to Major League Baseball, you hear?
Can I ask another dumb question?
Yeah.
What's stopping somebody really rich in Cleveland? Who's somebody that's really wealthy? We don't have to name names. Somebody who's got a lot of money, maybe looking to, build a stadium down the road. What is stopping them from having their family bet $1 million on today's
Stop.
Tariq Skubal game?
Come on.
What is stopping them from getting him
headed down?
From betting so much money on a prop bet with him that immediately it initiates investigations and then Skubal can't pitch today?
I kind of like that intrigue now.
Objection, hearsay.
I didn't become the judge all of a sudden, so sustained.
I like leading the witness better. I like that one better. Relevance! That's
Your
always
Honor,
good when they throw relevance in there.
The court's not going to get that man because I'm going to get him. The son of a... Never mind. Go ahead.
I was going to say our final thing here. We heard from Kevin Stefanski earlier on today on the show. We also heard from Packers head coach.
Anthony Lyman should go right to effing jail. Sorry. I had to do it.
That's all right. Matt LaFleur yesterday talking about the effort needed from his offense against according to him, the top-rated Browns defense.
Yeah, they're really good. Really, their whole defense. That's a big reason they're the top-ranked defense in football right now. So, obviously, I think a lot of it starts with their front, and it's not just Myles. We all know what kind of player that Myles Garrett is, but they've got a lot of guys that are hard-penetrating front that cause a lot of problems for quarterbacks, and I think that allows the DBs to kind of tee off on some things. It's a really well-coached unit, and we're going to have our best game offensively.
See, he says that, but they probably only need, 2 scores the way this Browns offense is going right now?
Oh, Mitch, come on.
All right, well,
we're in the home of the Browns. You can't come in here and debate what, we're not supposed to watch the game? Are we not even bothered?
I mean, you're not wrong, but still,
He said best offensive effort.
By the way, if you were going to power rank F-bombs in a movie, which we're not going to do, Injustice for All, that one has to be number 1. That is the best.
It's a pretty good one.
All. It is not it's not a gap discipline front. They're going to pick a lane and go right after you. So he's right. They're going to get after Jordan Love. So they got to watch that on Sunday. And Jim Schwartz is famous for that. So yeah, he's telling the truth over there.
The answer is Deadfall, by the way, with Nicolas Cage for the best F-bomb. That's it for about last night.
Listen to Richard Roper over here.
This is Mitch at the movies.
Do you know the Moss Man?
I do not know the Moss Man.
I'm going to introduce you to
gunning
David
for
Moss.
his job. That's what's happening.
You got to grow a mustache now.
Man, we'd hate to lose you, Mitch. We'd really hate to lose
Give me
you.
about 3 weeks.
When he's not doing movies, he
Good
can
luck.
do one-take trips back to doing his laundry or getting his oil changed.
Hey, can you grow a mustache? Can you grow facial hair?
I said give me 3 weeks and I might be able to.
You need to grow some facial hair right now. Okay? You got 3 weeks. Go do it.
I'll do it.
Man, it'd be such a shame to lose Mitch, but we can make a call to Moss Man. God, I'd hate to lose
He
you.
doesn't have to be Moss Man. I mean, the Cleveland Public Library can call him. Anybody who just needs a guy, go ahead and give Mitch a call.
I mean, we'd hate to lose you, but references, I've got 1,000 of them ready to go.
Do we have the Tigers on the ropes?
Yes, indeed.
There's some people in Detroit who agree with you. It's coming up in 5 minutes on the Fan. Northeast Factor Direct and Northeast Factor Direct.
Wednesday, dealing with a sore back. Browns back to practice later on today in Berea. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All-Star sign at 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Find out what happened in Berea while you're working. The Afternoon Drive, weekdays at 2, 92.3 The Fan.
Mary Kay Cabot in 20 minutes. What do you think of that, Tone?
Mary Kay and Jeff and Jerry at the movies. Watching film.
You can't. It's not Mystery Science 3000 here.
How great would that be, though? Honestly, like the actual players, they would love to tell us and show us how stupid we are on film. Now, the funny thing is, the coaches would love to tell the players how stupid they are by watching the film, and they do that every single film session, don't they?
Yeah.
This was wrong. What are you doing here? That's
what are you doing there? What are you doing here? What are you doing there?
Do I need to take you out? Are you overheating? Okay, you're good.
Well, in
the middle of a series.
So what you see they do, they put a thermometer in them, and if it pops out.
Oh, is that how they're monitoring DeJuan Jones right now?
It's a turkey-based joke.
Keep moving on from that one. Mary Kay Cabot going to join us at 8:20 this morning. Do we have the Do we have the Guardians? Do we have the Tigers on the ropes?
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh.
And you win today. If you beat their ace, think about how he has had to live with what happened in that playoff game, deciding playoff game last year. Think of how that has been on his mind. You're not a normal athlete if you wouldn't obsess about that and think about that. And now, does it start to fester? Because I guarantee you the Tigers thought at this point it would just be about jockeying for position, at the top and seeing what your bye situation is and keeping everybody healthy. Now, they need this. They need this win. This has the opportunity, man. If they can work him in the first 2 innings, oh boy.
Well, I struggle to say. I just don't like every time you start writing checks, it just seems you can't cash him about him. It's been that way all year. But let me see if our good friends Costa and Jansen and Heather, there's 3 of them there, on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. Let's see if they could change my mind.
Okay, it's 4.5 now, John. Where are you at? Not nervous? Are you anxious? How would you describe your emotions? Like yesterday, we were annoyed.
I'm just mad. We wanted a good outing by Jack Flaherty. Did we not get a good outing by Jack Flaherty?
Solid.
And so we're like, okay, he gets through 5 and punches the last one out after Chris Fetter comes up, and I'm mad that it's not over. I was frustrated. I was annoyed yesterday, and today I'm just angry.
Skubal on the mound today, I think, is the saving grace for people. But if they lose the Skubal start, if they're swept by the Guardians, if the lead is down to 3.5, if this continues the way it's going, Detroit's currently 5-9 in September. If they lose today, 5-10 in September. Like, now we're starting to use the C word. Now we're talking about a collapse.
So they're starting to think about collapse up there in 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit. That's Jim Costa and Jim Jansen, and I don't know Heather's last name. I apologize. We're on at the same time. They're saying collapse. If you do win today, I think 3.5 is still chunky with not 10 games left to go. 3.5 is still a bulk that they have to jump into. Now, you're getting ready to take on Minnesota after this. Who do the Tigers have after this? Do you know right off the top of your heads? Mitch, if you know, just say it into the microphone. I'm watching tape over here, so I can't see it in the chat. The Guardians have to keep their goals right in front of them. Now you got Detroit kind of looking in the rear view mirror.
Detroit has Braves this weekend, and they come to Cleveland, and they end up in Boston.
Okay. So,
they've got 2 playoff-looking teams and the Braves.
So they could technically help us?
Boston could help us?
No, Detroit at the end.
Yes.
Boston's in front of you.
If Detroit ends up, if we end up dropping 2 of these games to Detroit, it's probably over in the next 4. With the division, right? But if those are the only 2 games they lose and they go out and do something against Boston, they could end up helping you, yes.
Okay, they could end up helping you there. So they're right in front of you there. More importantly, though, Or not even more importantly, because the most important thing is getting to the postseason. Does it feel like there's a rivalry reigniting again? Because you do. I don't think so yet.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so yet.
Because remember when they were in their other iteration, when they were throwing all the money they could to try to win for Illich, that was the big thing. Like, there was a rivalry.
In my previous life, I got into it with a Tigers fan leaving the ballpark.
We're talking like mid to late 2000s, right?
Yes. That was a rivalry. This still doesn't feel... These are two teams that I think are battling for the top of the division, so it naturally should cause a rivalry. But I don't know. And I know what happened last year in the postseason, too, but I'm not sure if it's just a rivalry yet.
Oh, I think both teams are looking for a rival, and this is the clear-cut, hey, a true rivalry that's not like, everybody's a rival with the Yankees because nobody likes the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sox to that same extent, right? We have one with Toronto, kind of, because it's more of a fan rivalry than a team rivalry.
Well, yeah, because they come down and they leave the place a mess and they act like asses when they're down here.
But this one, especially because this is the same reason that you want the Pirates, you want the Guardians and the Pirates to be in the same division. So for proximity's sake, right? And just the natural football hate between the two cities. Detroit, man, it's a 2-hour drive or less. Depending on what time you get on the turnpike and how quickly first pitch is, and you got to be there on a Friday night.
Detroit's a weird city. You're right about that. Detroit is a very weird city because it's like selective times on when they're a rival. You're right about the Tigers there in the 2000s. And then you get like the Pistons every now and then, like when LeBron was first coming up.
And I think they have a chance. I think we have a chance to ignite that again.
Especially with bigger staff being there right now.
It's like, the Lions, like I can't meet it. I don't know if I've met a Browns fan that doesn't like the Lions. Like, doesn't feel some sort of like, all right, like we're struggling.
There's a kinship there.
There is a kinship there. Plus the Battle of the Bards, you think that would be a blood battle, but it's not. I think that there's a lot of folks that kind of like the Lions. I'm just not feeling rivalry yet. Now, if you go and you beat them and you actually take the division and they're freaking out, then I think you start to cause something there. But maybe it's also, we're on the road. Maybe something has to be at our doorstep. Like if I see a bunch of Tigers fans in the stadium next week and you are tied for the division or you are a game back of the division or something like that, then maybe I'll change my tune by next week. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's just so much harder in baseball than it is with the other ones because it seems like we're all hating the Yankees. I think we're starting to hate the Dodgers. I think we're all hating the Red Sox. You mentioned a little bit with the Blue Jays fans, but not really between the teams.
The Astros, people hate them because of the cheating thing.
Yeah. But there's not. But again, that's a universal thing. Like we hate the Steelers. Yeah. There's people who don't hate the Steelers.
I guarantee you, next week there will be more Tigers fans here than you think there's going to be.
Oh no, I think there's going to be. Yeah, I know.
And that's mainly because, dude, I don't know how much time you spend in Toledo, but the last 3 years I spent a ton of time there.
Well, I think there's plenty.
Way more Tigers fans than I ever expected to be in Toledo, and they have the AAA team. It's a closer ballpark for them to get to.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think there will be a lot more gray Tigers jerseys than we think. Maybe a Bobby Higginson jersey.
Oh, you'll see some Kirk Gibsons.
You'll see some of that too. Yeah,
but that's what baseball needs. They need more. The whole sport can't revolve around Yankees, Red Sox, and then Dodgers. Yeah. It just needs so much more than that. So if they can pick up two teams in the Midwest that are this close, that can really start to have animus towards each other, and then the stakes have to be high. We've always said about like the Steelers, Browns, they're never both great at the same time. It just never happens.
But it's also
Cubs and Cardinals were a great rivalry. It's kind of dead right now because the Cardinals aren't good. The Cubs weren't good for a while. That one's not the same as it used to be, but...
You lived in that because your dad was a Cardinals fan.
That was a huge... Anything Midwest, especially because those fan bases take a lot of the cornfield baseball fans, right?
Yes.
This is something that you can get. You can get the Rust Belt baseball fans right now.
It's also where I think that we're playing with house money here, which is weird because you're 3.5 back and you need every single win. I thought last night was the one that was the must win because they don't have much confidence in Jack Flaherty, and rightfully so. He hasn't been very good this year at all. And he did have a pretty decent outing last night in that clip we played from 97.1 up there in Detroit. Yeah, they're right about that. He did play pretty well. He did pitch pretty well last night. But last night was the one it's like, all right, we got Gavin Williams. We've bumped these guys up a day each. Gavin Williams should be able to get Jack Flaherty, okay? Yeah. If he can't get, and I know Jack Flaherty's had a good career too, but you can't, damn it, we're talking about guys wanting to be aces here. Like, you got to go get him. Tarek Skubel's a different animal. I mean, Tarek Skubel's probably a Cy Young guy this year.
Right, but last night, you're right, was a must-win because if they lost last night, the window's on the verge of being shut. Right now, if they lose today, that will suck, but it won't shut the window on winning the division.
Jeff in University Heights, you're next up on the Fan. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I wish you guys would have heard the clip, too, prior to the one you played, because I was listening to them this morning.
How damn dare you?
Well, I didn't listen to the whole show, Ken. I just like hearing what the other side has to say, especially when my team wins.
Fine.
I like one side.
That's why I love listening to 93.7 last year after that Thursday night game, but I digress. When they called us schmucks. But, yes, I think there's a rivalry there. And to your point, I hate the Dodgers more than anyone. You know, it kills me how people talk about, the Dodgers are so great. Yeah, you got $1 billion payroll. You should be great. But if you run Detroit down, especially if you beat them today, and they're going to really start gripping because you hear their shows and their post-game shows after the game, their fans are gripping. So if you beat their ace today and pull within 3.5, then the pressure is all on them, and they're going to really start gripping then, and the rivalry will really be back.
I agree with you. I also think that when the rivalry comes to the doorstep here, or when the fans come to the doorstep, Jeff, thank you very much for the call. I shouldn't have said damn towards him. Jeff's a pastor. I'm sorry about that, Jeff. But when the series comes back here and you see Tigers fans and it's here at your stadium, I think that's when the rivalry will reignite. I think that we're on the cusp of it. I like that the two teams that are closest to each other, I just don't know if I'd feel it as close, unless there was like a brawl or something like that with the Royals or with the Twins or White Sox or something. This is in close proximity. It's the same time zone, for crying out loud. There would feel like you would have a natural thing. You're right across the lake from each other. You look from each other from around the corner. So it would feel like there's something there that you could dig into, sink your teeth into. So I think that next week, if you win today, certainly. But I think that next week would be the time when that happens. But both teams have to take care of their business. The Guardians have to take care of their business against Minnesota, and they got the Braves coming up next week as well. 216-474 at the end of this weekend as well. 216-474-0092. Coming up at 9:20 this morning, Brian Baldinger going to join us on the show. Odyssey NFL Insider. Baldy breakdowns, you know from him. Is it too soon for Dylan Gabriel? I want a guy who's played the game to hopefully give me confirmation bias of what I've been telling people earlier this week. But speaking of Dylan Gabriel, how close is he to playing? And what's all this DeJuan Jones business? Mary Kay Cabot's going to get that sorted out here in 5 minutes on The Fan.
Guarantees. That's what we all love in life. Guarantees. We don't need contingencies. We don't need hedging. We want guarantees. We don't give you a guaranteed offer right now if you don't want to try your luck at the volatile real estate market. It's the
6 in a row now, just 4.5 games and back of the Tigers for first in the AL Central. The wild card race, the Guardians now trailing the Red Sox and the Mariners by 2.5 games. Browns back to practice later on today. We'll see if Joel Bitonio's out there. Did not practice on Wednesday because of a sore back. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. Starts at 7 o'clock tonight, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Browns Packers on Sunday. Bet you didn't know that. Lions at 8.5. Mary Kay Cabot joins us right now on the Fan Hotline, as she does every Thursday. Today's Thursday. As she does every Thursday at 8:20. Hello, Mary Kay.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Doing wonderful. How close is Dylan Gabriel to playing for this football team?
I think it depends on how Joe looks over the next couple of weeks. I don't think they're in any rush to get Dylan out there. I think they're in a stretch right now of 4 out of 5 games on the road. They're facing 3 really tough NFC North teams, playoff teams, and great defenses. They're heading to London. So they have a lot of things going on right now that I think it behooves them to have a veteran presence in there. But certainly he's got to make sure that he's protecting the football. That's job number one. And if he can do that, then he'll keep his job.
Do you feel like the leash, though, on Joe Flacco, based on what we saw in Game 2, has it changed? Has the game plan changed for the organization? Or do you think they are steadfast no matter how it looks, no matter if it's a total repeat of last week when they go up against Micah Parsons and the Packers, they are going to stick to their plan?
No, this is not a team that sticks to its plan. This is a team that is willing to pivot when it has to and when it needs to. Look what happened in training camp when Kenny Pickett suffered a hamstring injury. The plan was always for Kenny Pickett to challenge for that starting job. And when it became apparent that he wasn't going to be able to do that and be ready in the early part of the season, they traded him. So it's a team that is realistic about its chances, about where it's at, about its personnel, and they will be ready to pivot and turn it over to Dylan when they feel the time is right. But there are so many other things right now going on with the offense that I don't think they're looking at it like this is a Joe thing. I mean, they had offensive line problems in that game. Quinshon Judkins, it was his first game back after only 2 practices. The receivers aren't necessarily synced up with Joe yet. There are issues going on. He was always supposed to be supported with a robust running game, and he hasn't had that yet. So let's see what can happen if Quinshon's out there a little bit and they can run more of their playbook and use their running game. I mean, we really haven't seen this offense come together yet. Now, having said that, I do think that you do get to a certain point where you're like, okay, well, let's see if the receivers respond better to Dylan Gabriel. Let's see if the offensive line gets a spark. Sometimes you can, give the team a jolt if you put a different quarterback in there. But I just don't think that they're there yet. This is not a reactionary football team.
Go ahead. You clicked your fingers. I thought you had another one.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us right now on the hotline. So we had a big dust-up regarding the Heat situation in the last game with DeJuan Jones. So let us know, Mary Kay, if you were able to get some clarity on that situation yesterday.
Well, I think more is being made of it than what it really is. Here's the situation, and this is really, in my mind, the bottom line. DeJuan Jones is a player who, in the past, has had some issues with heat. There have been times where he has had to be carted off out of a practice. In a couple of hot games, he's had issues. So in the interest of trying to make sure that he was safe and healthy throughout the game, they went in with a game plan to give him a little bit of a breather and a break to make sure he could make it through the whole entire football game. That is sound medical practice. I'm sure that it came from their medical staff. I'm sure it came. This is not Kevin Stefanski just saying, maybe I'll just take DeJuan Jones out for these 3 plays. No, this was something that was predetermined, and they stuck with that plan to make sure that he was safe and healthy throughout the game. So I think there's something being made of it based on the way that DeJuan may have described it yesterday. but there's nothing to be made of it at all. And I'm sure if you talk to somebody, if Kevin were a little bit more forthcoming, now we don't have him today, we have coordinators today, but if he were more forthcoming, I'm sure that would be the explanation, that there is a track record here of DeJuan Jones having issues in hot games, and we want to make sure that he's okay.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. Yeah, I had our media brethren was getting all worked into a shoot over, and I went, well, wait a minute. I think we're forgetting that he did have a heat-related issue in training camp, so I think that probably plays out in this game. But who knows? And so many of these things, maybe we find out at the end of the season it wasn't exactly that. So I didn't want to go nuts on those things. We talked about it earlier this morning at 7 o'clock. Mary Kay with us on the show. Speaking of coordinators today, I want to get back to the quarterbacks here in a minute, but speaking of coordinators today, Bubba Ventrone feeling any heat? Last year wasn't good, and then Sunday was a disaster.
Well, it was a disaster, and, I do think that it's got to get to the point where we stop having to ask Bubba about all the calamities happening on special teams. So they've got to get this figured out. Special teams cannot be a liability. It cannot be that. You get one thing figured out, and then the next thing springs a leak. Now, in this past game, it did not help matters at all, of course, that DeAndre Carter suffered a concussion. That threw a lot of things into turmoil. It spilled down over into your receiving core. It just had a lot of impact on the football team. They left yards out there with Isaiah Bond. He wasn't ready for that assignment, really. And then, of course, the blocked punt. I mean, those things occasionally do happen, but they have to get that stuff figured out. I don't think he's on the hot seat. I don't think they would make any kind of a change during the season, but certainly you've got to have your special teams helping you win football games. That's got to start happening.
Mary Kay, Jerry Jeudy is telling reporters that you got to watch the tape, meaning he's getting open, not a problem. What have you heard right now? What have you observed in watching the Browns' first two games with not only Jerry Jeudy, but the entire wide receiver room?
Well, I just think it's a matter of, once again, the quarterback and the receivers, the offense just needs to be working in concert right now. And I just don't think it's there quite yet. And I'm sure all receivers always think that they're open. I mean, I've been covering football for a long time. I've never really met a receiver who didn't think he was open. And even if they're covered one-on-one, you have to take those chances and you have to win those contested balls. So I really don't think that's the issue. I think that when you look at this offense in general, it's just not a well-oiled machine yet. I think it will help when they get the running game going. And I just think they need more reps, and it's hard to get that chemistry on the fly. It really is hard to. You can't recreate a game-like situation out in practice, and sometimes figuring out the timing and the rhythm of your offense has to happen during football games. And right now, Joe has some nice chemistry going with Harold Fannin. We have to see more from David Njoku. We need to see more from Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and everybody also has to hang on to the football. There have been way too many drop passes. I think they only have them down for 5, but I'm a hard grader on drop passes. If it hits you in the hands, I think it should be yours.
Amen. Mary Kay, finally somebody's willing to do it. I'm sick and tired of media brethren out there that all want to give the wide receivers benefit of the doubt.
Don't steal my words.
It's disgusting.
Don't steal my sayings.
It's despicable.
Brethren.
So I probably have them for more dropped passes than 5 in the first 2 games. And some of those are breakups, but in that case, sometimes I count those as sort of a drop as well, because if it's in your hands, then you need to be hanging on to it. So I'm a hard grader on that sort of thing. But I think those, the receivers and the quarterback, they need to get more on the same page, and they just need to be working better together. One of the reasons why Joe Flacco was so successful in 2023 is because he had instant chemistry with Amari Cooper. He needs to find that with a few more guys, and they all need to work together to make that happen. Now, Amari Cooper back in the day, he would be wearing Joe out all day long with text messages and with, he was in his ear all the time about, let's do this, let's try that. And maybe these guys just need to communicate more, spend more time together, watch more film together. And this is going to be a really, really tough defense to be successful against.
Mary Kay Cabot with us on the show. Kenny Pickett, was he Kevin's guy?
I know Kevin really liked him a lot. I know the whole organization really thought that Kenny could be that bridge quarterback until one of those rookies was ready to come in. Well, until Dylan Gabriel was going to be ready to come in there and play some games. So I think that when they headed into the off-season program, when they headed into minicamp, and to a certain extent when they headed into training camp, I still think that Kenny was very, very much in the mix to start the season. I don't know if he was necessarily Kevin's guy, but I think they had determined as an organization that he could go out there and run this offense efficiently, and probably most of all, protect the football, which is such a point of emphasis this season, and it's not happening. I mean, if you look at this season so far, the mistakes have led to 0-2. The turnovers have led to 0-2. And if they can just get that cleaned up, and I've been saying that since the offseason, I said they could win 7 games if they just get the turnover battle thing figured out. They haven't won one in 9 games now, and you're just not going to be successful that way.
They also haven't had a 100-yard rusher in, I believe, 27 games. What did you think of Quinshon Judkins on Sunday?
Well, for only having 2 days of practice under his belt, I thought he did a fine job, but it's not going to be any easier this Sunday. So I think that was a very small sample size. So whatever I saw on Sunday is not necessarily going to carry over to this week unless they are really on point with their blocking, and he's got to be hitting those holes. And I think that their run game is going to have to be accomplished in other ways just besides Quinshon trying to run the ball, because this team is so good at the run. At their run defense. They're number 2 overall. They shut down the Lions. They shut down the Commanders. I think you're going to need to run some maybe jet sweeps, end arounds, jumbo packages, whatever you can do, because you can't have your quarterback throwing the ball, your 40-year-old quarterback throwing the ball 45 times a game and think it's all going to go perfectly.
Perhaps nobody better in the region in deciphering cryptic social media posts than Mary Kay Cabot, and so what a perfect time to ask you to try to decipher JOK's Instagram post yesterday. Had some people thinking he's coming back, had others thinking he's going to announce a retirement. What say you?
You know, that's a tough one. I really can't answer that. I'm not really sure where he's going. It's been kind of a mystery in terms of what he's thinking. I think it would probably be difficult for him to get back on the field based on just what I saw during the hit during the collision. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's thinking. And sometimes guys really like to keep us guessing in that regard. So I'm probably not going to take a stab at that one.
Mary Kay Cabot with us. What do you think of the new uniforms?
I can't say I loved the helmets yesterday. And I'm not really a uniform helmet guy, but I didn't like them. They seemed sort of drab to me, I must say. So, I didn't love those as much as some other people did. And since you guys probably don't know this, I'm just going to throw this out there. Because I haven't tweeted this out yet, I wrote a column this morning saying that I don't think Baker Mayfield would have been that Baker Mayfield here in Cleveland. And I went through a bunch of different reasons why I think that would have been the case. So I know you guys haven't had a chance to see that yet, but if you guys are still debating that topic at all, I just thought I would see if you wanted me to weigh in on it.
Well, we weren't until you brought it up, but please, Mary Kay, the floor is yours. Why wouldn't Baker Mayfield be the same Baker Mayfield, or this Baker Mayfield, if he stayed in Cleveland?
Well, it's complicated. It's very, very complicated, but things had gone so south here that I don't think it was at the point of return. I don't think that there was any chance for him to come back and salvage anything here with the way things transpired. I think he got off to a very, very tumultuous and toxic start here. So many things went downhill. And then when you get to the point about that I think is important here is that Baker himself, he was a little bit of a train wreck when he was here, and he now admits that. I think he needed to be humbled. He needed to change. He wasn't living his life the way that he is now. His marriage was on the rocks. he had family issues with his father and his father's company and possible money stealing and different things like that. So he was not in a good place, and he readily admits he needed to have his career taken down to the studs so that he could build himself back up. And I just don't think that Cleveland was going to get that version of Baker Mayfield until that happened.
So we've been sitting here stressing about what lessons can we learn? How do we make sure a Baker situation doesn't happen again? And Mary Kay, it sounds like you're saying, well, there were definitely multiple reasons that something like this went down, and you can't necessarily just blame the Browns on this.
No, you certainly cannot blame the Browns on this, but Baker landed in Cleveland in the most dysfunctional period in Cleveland Browns history, so that certainly didn't help. When you have a rookie quarterback, you have to take TLC with them. You have to develop them with every ounce of professionalism and whatever else they need throughout their entire career, off the field, on the field. I've seen rookie young quarterbacks come in here, and you just know that they're not okay from just a mental standpoint. They're just not doing right. So I think that you have to be very, very careful about how you bring these young guys along, and Baker did not have that. Now, this new organization, that was the old regime. These guys know how to develop a young quarterback. Some people would disagree with that, but these guys know what they're doing. That's why you're not seeing Shador out there yet. That's why you're not seeing Dillon out there yet. But I watch them in practice every day, and they're still doing almost a mini two-spotting out there where they're getting these guys their reps and they're bringing them along. Baker didn't have that in the early going. He landed in just an absolute firestorm with the front office and the coaching staff. So he got off to a bad start. And then if you get a chance to read the column, I talk about how things kind of broke down between him and Myles Garrett. We know that things broke down between him and Odell Beckham Jr., and things broke down between Baker and Kevin Stefanski. And by the time they got to the end, it just wasn't going to go anywhere. So I don't think that he would have been that player here, and I think people need to kind of just let that go.
Mary Kay, thank you very much for the time. The problem is that we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield in the next segment because of what you just said to us, and people are going to go, "You're still going on about Baker Mayfield? The game was Monday night. You guys ain't talking about the Guardians. This is the problem with Cleveland Sports Radio." You see what you've done to us now, Mary Kay, though? This is good stuff.
I appreciate it, Mary Kay.
This is good stuff. We love it, Mary Kay. We love you. Thank you so much.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mary Kay Cabot on the Fan Hotline. All right, guys, please, just a few minutes about all that when we come back on the Fan.
favorite all-time movies when it comes to marriages being on the rocks. Kramer versus Kramer. Watch it on my 85-inch Sony Bravia TV, which was, of course, installed by the best of the best at Extend Technologies. Missing town.
At Bedford Nissan, the excuses stop here. Because right now you can drive home your favorite Nissan with 0% financing. Bedford Nissan, we make it easy. With approved credit on select new models, financing for well-qualified buyers through NMAC ends 9/30/25.
Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
why wouldn't Baker Mayfield be this Baker Mayfield if he stayed in Cleveland?
You certainly cannot blame the Browns on this, but Baker landed in Cleveland in the most dysfunctional period in Cleveland Browns history, so that certainly didn't help. Now, that was the old regime. These guys know how to develop a young quarterback. Some people would disagree with that, but these guys know what they're doing. That's why you're not seeing Shador out there yet. That's why you're not seeing Dylan out there yet. Things broke down between Baker and Kevin Stefanski, and by the time they got to the end, it just wasn't going to go anywhere. So I don't think that that he would have been that player here, and I think people need to kind of just let that go.
As soon as I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Guys, I did not plan on talking about that. I swear to God. We're going to get, we're going to get killed just for bringing up Baker.
Here's what I love.
You know what's going to happen.
So I have complained, Kenny, that I feel like the national media has been getting it right and not reverting to revisionist history. They are showing culpability across the board.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody, Mary Kay comes in and is like, no, we reported on all this at the time. I remember exactly how it was. This was not, the Browns were just the only ones in the wrong on the Baker decision. Baker's admitted it. People keep ignoring that, by the way. They just think it's lip service. They think it's fake. They think he's feigning, what would be the word? Like that he's evolved. Is that what it is? Why does nobody believe Baker when he's like, I had to grow up? I had to grow up. Why do people not believe him?
I don't know.
They love him. The Baker Bros love him so much, but they don't. But they're calling him a liar.
It's not that they don't believe. No, it's not that they don't believe him. They don't care. We don't have the quarterback anymore. And the people who argued about him fought tooth and nail. Like, people were threatening to fight each other, like meet up and fight in an old Kmart parking lot over Baker Mayfield. Like, that's the way people were in those days.
Well, and it wasn't. It's the answer to when you say, well, he said he needed to grow up. Why couldn't he grow up here?
Exactly.
Why couldn't he have just grown up here?
Because
instead of trading, well, they ended up trading him away for a fifth, right? But
listen, she's not here to defend herself. So can I just respectfully disagree with Mary Kay on something?
Go ahead.
Do we know that they know how to develop a young quarterback? You drafted DTR. I wouldn't say that DTR was a developed young quarterback, would you?
No.
Okay, so this regime knows how to develop young QBs. It's a bit of a stretch.
But DTR also might just suck.
I love you, Mary Kay.
He also might just suck, right?
Well, you drafted him.
Baker came in good. Baker came in and he was good immediately.
Okay. Baker was the number one overall pick.
Yeah, for sure. He had enough talent to be a first round.
Well, yeah, but
we'll always argue did he have the talent to be number one? Now he's playing like it.
Just wheel in the dead horse, because I'll say everything else I said earlier this week is that
I get that, Kenny.
Okay.
We don't even have to do that.
Thank you.
But what I don't understand isn't this an amazing story, right? It's an amazing story for Baker Mayfield. It's an amazing. The highs were high. The lows were so low. He was almost out of football. The image of him on scout team defensive line, right? Now will be part of the lore of Baker Mayfield. But that's why his story is so amazing, because he wasn't good at points of his career. It's not an amazing story if he's just always good. No, that's not what we're selling here. The Baker Mayfield story involves the lows. Now, if you just want to put all the lows on the Browns, hey, they get that all the time, every day. That's nothing different for the Cleveland Browns.
That's the way it's going to work.
But it's also the lows of him in Carolina. I don't know what you want to say about the experience with the Rams, but then also Tampa Bay didn't 100% buy into him. They gave him a one-year contract for $5 million. They made him battle with Kyle Trask. They wouldn't have done that if they thought he was good. The Rams didn't make Matt Stafford compete with anybody when they brought him and traded for him, because they knew he was good. The NFL did not know if Baker Mayfield was good. Again, if you want to keep all of that on the Browns,
dude,
go right ahead.
That's what I've been trying to tell you about Baker, about Bill Belichick since God knows when, about the Browns. And you said, I don't know why you make a big deal about it, Ken. And here you are making a big deal about Baker Mayfield. Like, sorry guys, like, the victors get to write the history.
But Baker right now, is writing the history, and he's telling you he was at fault.
They don't care.
He's writing the
history. You either have the player or you don't have the player.
He's telling you that he was at fault.
You either have the player or you don't have the player.
So if you want to not believe him, then fine.
It's that simple. And if you're going to talk about more of the history, again, who did you technically jettison him for? Who did you jettison him for? Answer the question out loud.
I don't know what
exactly.
What does that mean?
A quarterback that the fans don't like. They don't like him.
They would have loved him if he was good. He just wasn't good.
Okay, well that didn't help, and him sucking up the room certainly didn't help the matters.
He was terrible. He ended up being the worst quarterback in the league.
They were uncomfortable with him to start, and now they really don't like him because he's not good. So take your pick. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you're over. There's guys. I got no fight left. The fans of Baker, you have won. I cannot tell you how many times I got to tell you.
Okay,
I don't know why you're still fighting this fight.
I'm glad. Yes, the winners get to write the history, and Baker is admitting that he was culpable, and Mary Kay was there reporting on it. Nobody cares what Mary Kay just said. I think they do care. I'm seeing the phone lines. I'm seeing the tweets.
I know that they care about that. I think
and I applaud Mary Kay for not reverting to revisionist history and actually say, no, I have my Dear Diary here. Actually, here's what was going on in his life. Here's his personal situation. Here's his family. Here's his marriage. Here's his relationship with Myles Garrett. His relationship with Kevin Stefanski. Yes, that's all on us too. Well, not all of that. I can't really control every player in their marriage and their relationships with teammates and everything. And I don't know, Kevin Stefanski, do you want him to lord over all the relationships behind the scenes? There's only so much one coach could do. Mike Tomlin has had great seasons and players that hated each other and hated him. So I don't know that we can ask him to do all of that.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate it.
But I applaud Mary Kay. Thank you.
I hate it.
Thank you for setting the record straight.
I hate this.
Thank you for setting the record straight.
This is ridiculous because now I'm having a fight over something that I can't change that I should have had a fight about on Tuesday.
I'll just play that audio for anybody in my life.
Fine.
It'll
play
be great.
It all day long, and they'll just laugh at you because they're going to go,
show with it.
Okay, then
we'll end the show with the Shepherd rap.
Then why did you hold on to Josh Gordon for so long? Then why did you tell Kareem Hunt to kick rocks when he asked for a trade? Then why did you tell David Njoku twice to kick rocks when he asked for a trade? But Baker Mayfield, now get out of here! Get the hell on out of here! That's the way they're going to be. That's the way this all is. You can sit there and laugh all you want, but that's the truth of the matter. So I can sit there and go, oh yeah, well Carolina, they suck on the run. Doesn't matter. They're not Browns fans. They're not Carolina fans. They don't care. It doesn't matter about the Rams. The Rams are a good organization anyway, so they can let a guy like Baker Mayfield go and do it because they have a Hall of Famer in Matt Stafford who plays for their football team, who still somehow with a broken back and broken legs and broken everything is still able to throw the ball through the wall. But what do we have? We got a quarterback that when you wish him happy birthday, people just cuss him out on social media. That's what we got. Congratulations, Toad. Yeah, you won the argument. You and Mary Kay won it. Well. Done.
I want an accurate keeping of the news. That's all I want.
What a win.
I don't think we don't need to make stuff up.
Pose for you, Toad.
We've already lost on the field, but we don't need to lie about the history. That's all I'm saying. And there's been a lot of lying going on. I got guys, 2-7 all week. Holy cow. I couldn't believe the lies. I mean, it's like, wait, were you guys here? I mean, one wasn't here, but my God, all week. And when I called to confront them on it, there was no pushback. There was zero pushback because they knew I was telling the truth. And thank God Mary Kay told the truth just now. We can just play that audio from 2-7. Let's make sure everybody is on board here with what happened so that now we have an accurate accounting of the actual news as it happened. This wasn't 800 years ago.
Friends, Ken Carmen here for Tom Merriman and Merriman Legal.
Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. It all starts tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
You can listen to The Fan anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app and by telling your smart speaker to play 92.3 The Fan. Now you can find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the best content from your favorite shows on The Fan each and every weekday.
It's going to be a very awkward afternoon here at The Fan, I'll tell you that right now.
Not if you're a winner. Enter the code word ROCKET at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Chicago Bulls in preseason action. Holy cow, October 7th, Tuesday already, 7 p.m. at Rocket Arena. Tickets on sale now, Cavs.com/tickets. Kenny, we got to go to this game and cause a ruckus. Do you make a ruckus or do you cause a ruckus?
I think either or is fine.
Can we bring the ruckus?
Either or is fine. Now they're fighting about Baker in the
that's silly.
In the YouTube comments in the chat.
We're so over that.
Which I'm getting
they're
asked,
not calling each other names or anything.
Because I said I disagreed with Mary Kay about the developing quarterbacks. I don't know if they can develop quarterbacks or not. They went out and they went after Deshaun Watson. He developed into whatever this is. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Maybe that's the best quarterback he's going to be. Maybe I just didn't see it. Okay. Kenny Pickett, they gave up on that, which I'm getting a weird stealing feeling about that, but I'm going to save that for later. Not today, maybe tomorrow or the day after. Who knows what's going to happen on Sunday?
Where is he again?
He's in Las
Oakland?
Vegas.
Las Vegas?
They play in Las Vegas now.
Los Angeles?
They have not played in Oakland in quite a while.
St.
I believe
Louis?
that the stadium has been bulldozed.
Okay.
I don't know. But somebody asked me, they go, why don't you disagree with her? I go, guys, Daryl is a coworker.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Kay is a guest. Now, yes, I have mixed it up with guests before. Okay? Mary Kay is very nice with her time. We've told you this before. I don't fight with Zach. And God, there's...
Well, you used to. You used to fight with Zach.
No, not on the air.
When you had your bets.
Bets over what?
Over the Browns.
Browns record.
Yeah, the Browns record.
Over the liquor?
Yeah.
That don't count. I never fought with Zach. I don't fight with Zach. And Jason has hosted shows. I'll fight with Jason. Daryl is a coworker. I'll fight with Daryl.
Well, what were you supposed to fight?
Because I said I disagreed with the quarterbacks being developed here. That the old regime, when she said the old regime didn't know how to develop a quarterback, this regime does. And I go, well, I don't think we have proof that they do.
Yeah, right now I'd say we're teetering on that, right? Jacoby Brissett had a nice season with us or part of his season with us, but that's not development. That's a veteran.
It's going to be crazy coming from me, where
he's also 4-7.
I'm a guy who can...
So you're saying it wasn't even that good to begin with?
Yeah. I'm a guy who can bog it down with the best of them, and I just don't want to bog it down with that part of it. Because, when she said the marriage on the rocks and stuff like that, my phone started lighting up, and I went, oh boy.
It was a point to his volatility that was going on both on the field and behind the scenes, to the point where it makes sense. The game where he shaved his face famously 3 times, Kenny, that you were on top of.
Bursted blood vessels in my face after that.
Like guys, there was a lot going on in the world of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it was a bad time. Bad time for everybody involved. And it was a bad time watching him. It was a bad time being a part of it. And it was upsetting. And I think a lot of people know that. And there's just, what else am I supposed to say? So I'm just going to sit here and deal with it like everybody else. Like everybody else. Like the whole thing of, the only thing that I will fight back on is I did not want Deshaun Watson. I'll fight back on 2 things. I did not want Deshaun Watson, and the media did not get Baker Mayfield shoved out of here. If the media got Baker Mayfield shoved out of here, do you know how many things the media has wanted to do that the Browns have not done? If the media had that much, if Anthony and I had that much power, I'll speak for ourselves. If Anthony and I had that much power, this team would look a lot different. I can't say it'd be better. I've never accused myself of being a very good team builder. I'm afraid that with the quarterbacks that I've liked in the past, I would be out of a job if I was a general manager. I'm nervous about that.
Yeah,
but
I like Deshaun Watson coming out of the draft.
Yeah, Lima liked Deshaun Watson coming out of the draft. We would have had a couple of good years with Deshaun Watson, maybe. He did like him coming out of the draft.
Well, if you guys were building the team off of what you said, Nick Chubb would still be here.
I mean, guys, I had a coach. I had one of Josh Allen's coaches in college texting daily about Josh Allen. And I went, well, he's too crazy.
I thought Josh Allen sucked in his third year in the league when he came here and was terrible.
Yeah, well, that was his
second
third year.
Was
it?
Second year.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am out of the Josh Allen business.
I said he looked like a drunk taking a leak in the snow. That's how he was throwing. He was. That was not a good game for him, by the way. Those are the only two things that I'll fight back.
Win some, lose some.
Like I will say there have been certain things with fans that I think that they've taken into account, but when it comes to player personnel, no. If it was Deshaun Watson, if they go, Kenny, what do you want to do? Deshaun Watson wouldn't be here. It's just that simple. I don't. Baker Mayfield might not be here either. I don't know what we'd be doing, but Deshaun Watson wouldn't be here.
And I think, by the way, we said this, and we can move on. There is a much larger portion of the fan base that was so down on Baker than people are remembering. I think even some of those people don't remember how down they were on Baker Mayfield at the end. Because they didn't like the stuff about Myles Garrett and them, not even a Myles or Baker thing. It was just like, man, this guy just seems to create a lot of enemies, both on other teams, to get into it with, and now he's getting into it with guys on his own team.
I would say to those fans, now you and I, everything I say is public. Everything I say is on the record because you guys love to throw it back in my face, so I always have to be careful what I say about when I make these predictions and things like that. But, for a fan has every right to have said they wanted Baker Mayfield out in 2021 and then be mad about it in 2025. And the reason they have every right, because they're fans. And they're not paid to know these things. The general manager of the Cleveland Browns is paid to know these things. The team president, whatever DeBodesta's role is, they're paid. The chief strategy officer, they're paid to know these things. You're not. So it's not your responsibility. So, yeah, you have every right to be mad because you're powerless in this situation. And, yeah, if you had a quarterback that looks like a top 10 quarterback right now, yeah, you should be mad. But, man, I love Mary Kay, but, man, when she started talking about that, I go, we're going back into it. Here we go. Guardians play. We got Brian Baldinger coming up at 9:20 this morning. Guardians play the Tigers today. By the way, who thought 1 p.m. games in September wouldn't matter anymore? Here we are.
Boom.
Here we are, everybody. Games that matter.
And we don't have Spiro Ditas on the call.
No,
we don't. Or Tom McCarthy.
No, we don't. No Adam Archuleta for us, buddy boy.
There's Beasley Reese when you need him.
Come on now. Didn't he get into it with Adam?
Rest in peace.
Was it Adam Archuleta who got into it with Adam? No, it was somebody else. It was another defensive player. It wasn't Adam Archuleta. It was somebody else. I forget who it was. I got a text.
Rick Kamla.
That was a basketball guy that got into it with Adam. Don't say Russ Schneider either. A lot of people got into it with Adam, okay? Anyway.
Who ran the BCS?
That was a nice... Now, Bill Hancock, that was a nice discussion. He went after him, but Bill Hancock was nice about it. You're 4.5 games back right now, a chance to make it 3.5. The must-win game was yesterday. That was the issue. See, every time you talk Baker, people want to call in. I'm not going to take the Baker calls, guys. I got to move on at some point here. Even though Brian Baldinger joins us at 9:20. I'm not asking about Baker. Don't you dare. Don't you dare do it. He's going to do it. Yesterday was a must-win game. Today, it's not house money because you're 4.5 games back. But yesterday was the game that you had to have because if you didn't win yesterday against Jack Flaherty and then you don't win today against Tarek Skubal, you got yourself some serious issues there. Because every game is important for the wild card, but for those who believe that they still have a chance in the AL Central, which I don't know why there's no chance that you wouldn't believe. But if you were still hardcore on them winning the AL Central, yesterday was the big day. Today, I think that this is just a glorious test for Tanner Bybee to see what he has. You got to play a little bit. I know you hate the term. You got to play a little bit of house money. You got to play loose because they're the team that's tight right now. They're the ones whose media is talking about the C word and collapse. We're the ones who are trying to be. It's easier to be the hunter than it is the hunted. Like, you have put yourself in a unique position here, the Guardians have, where, yes, you're behind the 8 ball, and you don't like being that way, but you've turned yourself into an underdog, which it's much easier to be an underdog than it is to stand on the top of the mountain and bat people away from your prize. Yes.
Well, you've opened up another door. You have two doors now. You have a division door and a wild card door.
Yes.
Which you didn't have 3 weeks ago even, right? Unless you were, a certain guy in this booth that thought that they still had a chance. But everything had to go right, and so far everything has gone right for them. And that includes everything going wrong for the Tigers. They're as much to blame for this as the Guardians, winning games are.
Yes.
But they absolutely, when you look at the two options, you're at a point where if you win today's game, you control your own destiny. You didn't control your own destiny last week.
No.
And you are now playing yourself back into controlling your own destiny. And that's something only having to look at the Tigers instead of the other door has watch the Astros, watch the Mariners, watch the Red Sox, watch the Rangers. That's a lot of stuff to do. Plus, worry about yourself. This is a much better path. They absolutely won the game they had to win last night, and it makes today's game less of a pressure situation for them.
I think there is a ton of pressure just based on the fact that they're reeling. You can check out any media out of Detroit right now. They are starting to panic about the team. And if Skubal can't get it done today, like if your ace, who we know what happened last year during the biggest moment of their season, what happened in that game and how they were feeling about that. And then he's bounced back obviously this year. But like if he struggles in a game like today, what confidence? Any confidence they had is going to be destroyed here towards the end of the year. For us, look, there's pressure on just you almost can't afford to lose more than 3 games the rest of the year, maybe 2. I don't. What does the record have to be for you to feel good about them getting in?
You can only lose 2 games.
Man, you got 11 games left, so
right.
9-2. You've already
the only thing
won
that helps
13 of your last 15 or whatever.
You can lose to the Twins. That would be the team you shouldn't lose to, but you can lose to the Twins once or twice. You can't lose to anyone else.
Does Brian Baldinger agree that we are wasting our time with Joe Flacco starting at quarterback? He answers that question. Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger of Baldy's Breakdowns next on The Fan.
It's Anthony.
practice yesterday because he's still in concussion protocol. Browns are back to work today, getting ready for the game Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. Hope his Batonio's out there, able to practice today and play Sunday at the stadium. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. Starts tonight at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Well, you've been saying it, so I'm going to ask the man whether or not the Browns are wasting their time with Joe Flacco, because we're joined by Odyssey NFL insider Brian Baldinger. He's the host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Calls, brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Brian Baldinger joins us this morning. Baldy, thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you guys. Thanks.
Okay, I mean, you were a veteran in the league, long time. Browns are starting out with Joe Flacco. They got 2 pups behind him. It's only week 3, but I got a lot of people going, guys, come on, we're wasting our time. We're not going anywhere. It's time to play the kids. How would it be a problem if we played Dylan Gabriel now? Would it be a disaster? Are we wasting time with Joe Flacco? Tell me.
Well, I mean, are they going to catch the ball from Dylan Sampson or Dylan Gabriel? I mean, they can't catch it from Joe Flacco. They would have beaten Cincinnati easily if they didn't drop the ball. They dropped the ball last week. So, I mean, if the receivers don't catch the ball, it doesn't matter who's going to throw it. So, I mean, I think they'd be 1-1 right now if they could catch, if they could kick. You know, some of the basics of playing football, and they couldn't do that week 1 against Cincinnati. You know, Dylan Sampson looks like he's the only guy that can catch it every time they throw it to him. So I don't think it makes a difference right now.
What about from any of the film you've looked at? Because Jerry Jeudy thinks people just aren't looking at the film. He says he's getting open, but the wide receiver room as a whole, do you think they're having issues running routes?
Well, they didn't catch a ball. The wide receivers didn't catch a ball until 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. So, and he caught one for 26 yards, you know, when that happened. That went 19 plays without completing a pass to a wide receiver. I do think that's part of the issue is that they do have to get open better, but, you know, Cedric Tillman isn't separating from anybody right now. Jerry Jeudy is still the best receiver, but he's dropped a lot of passes. I think he's dropped 3 passes in the first 2 games, and one of them was intercepted against Cincinnati. So, I mean, it's a combination. You know, if they're going to go out there and if your receivers can't win one-on-ones, then they're not a good receiver. And so that's what Baltimore did a great deal of the time on Sunday.
Brian Baldinger joining us on the show. Dylan Sampson, you mentioned him twice. You like Dylan Sampson that much?
Yeah, I do. We caught the touchdown pass last week from Gabriel. He caught every pass thrown to him week 1 against Cincinnati. You know, I like both backs. I like Quinshawn. I like Dylan. I think that's the future. Now, you could say, all right, well, if you're going to future is Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger and Dylan Sampson and Quinshawn Judkins, why not go with the quarterback? I mean, there's a legitimate argument to all of that, but I think Joe is playing. I mean, he's seeing the field well, and you know, you got 2 tackles out there that are struggling right now. I don't know what DeJuan's situation is. He's on and off the field. Cornelius Lucas has been a backup his whole life over there at right tackle. I mean, you know, I don't know if the protection is going to get better with any of the rookie quarterbacks back there.
Obviously, the Browns, we have had the luxury of having excellent offensive line play for, man, it seems like over a decade. But guys are aging. You know, Wyatt Teller is getting up there. Batonio is retiring after this year. Conklin probably retiring after this year. Is it just a matter of, even though we've got the names up there, they just aren't what they were in their prime? Is that what you might be noticing?
A little bit. I mean, I think everybody slows down at some point. Joe's been a great player in this league, and you know, I mean, just a great player. Period. But yeah, I think some of that. But Baltimore heated them up pretty good. He got after. You know, I mean, Roquan Smith's coming on blitzes. The backs can't block him. So I don't care what back is in there; they couldn't block him, and you know, he created a lot of havoc on Sunday. I imagine you're going to see the same thing this week. So, I mean, I like Dylan Sampson, but, you know, he's not going to block Roquan Smith coming in a full-speed blitz. So it's not just the offense line, it's the backs as well.
I wanted to ask you about that. We're talking to Brian Baldinger, so who better to ask about stuff like this? when it comes to nitty-gritty football. They draft Sampson. We know, he's not exactly the biggest guy in the world, but he's supposed to be a third down back. But if he can't block guys in those situations, is that something that just he's young, so he's going to have problems with that? Or is that something you can certainly pick up over time with more experience?
No, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, everything can be learned. And so, most backs don't get an opportunity to do a lot of protection in college. And so I think that's part of it. But, he was, you don't get a chance to really practice that much at full speed. I would imagine that at Tennessee, he didn't do a great deal of it. Most backs don't. So it's just something that he's got to, if he wants to be on the field on third downs, and I know he does, and I think he's going to be a good player. But, protection is pretty important at that point, because otherwise, the guys that are supposed to be in coverage on him are just going to blitz. And so he blitzed the back. It's just a bob call, and he's got to get used to it.
Brian Baldinger joining us, Odyssey NFL Insider. Follow him on Twitter at BaldyNFL. How soon, when would be an appropriate time to play because, you said, well, are they going to catch for Dylan Gabriel because they didn't catch for Joe Flacco? When would be an appropriate time where you go, all right, fine, we got to play the rookies?
I don't know. I don't know if there's an appropriate time. You got to play your best players. You got to try to win every game. It's 0-2. They should be 1-1. It's not, I wouldn't even think about making a switch. It was nice that Dylan came in there and threw a pass, touchdown pass to, mop-up duty last week. But I don't know when they're playing the Green Bay Packers right now. They're coming in with maybe the best team in the whole, NFC. It's a great test. The way they're playing defense right now, if they could shut Green Bay down and make it a game or win the game, that changes everything. Flacco's your guy. But if they keep losing games, at some point you're going to play the rookie and see what they have, but it's way too early. It's only September.
There's been some thought that, with the league and the too high safety thing, that maybe it's going to make life so much tougher on the Browns offense with Joe Flacco. He's obviously not somebody who has a threat to run. And we haven't really seen him launching the deep balls like earlier in his career or even during the run a couple of years ago when they went to the playoffs. So what are you seeing from, schematically, how defenses are not just going up against the Browns, but everybody, and what can you do with a kind of a statue quarterback to try to beat those defenses?
Well, I don't think Joe's a statue. He's moving out there, and he's run for first downs, and he's extending plays. I think he's anything but a statue. I don't think Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders runs any better than Joe. So I don't agree with that. In fact, I think Joe looks faster now than he did when he was a rookie in 2008. But they got to run the ball better. Period. Judkins had the one big run last week. Otherwise, they're averaging about 3 yards a carry. So, everything in this offense is going to be based off, some sort of a run action. And so they got to run it better up front. And, they got to have better blocking from across the board. I haven't seen Joe Bitonio pull like I thought I was going to see him pull in a lot of power plays. Maybe they need to get back to that. The last thing you want to do in this game against Green Bay is, be forced to drop back to throw with Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary coming off the edge against the tackles that are going to line up on Sunday. So, it's going to be an emphasis this week, and hopefully they run the ball a lot better than what they've shown so far.
Brian Baldinger joining us here. Brian, you look at the defense, and I know they gave up 41 points last week, but it wasn't, all defense, a lot off special teams, turnovers, things like that. How do you keep a team together when one side of the ball is struggling so much and the other side of the ball, it's only been a couple weeks, they've been playing at a nearly elite level?
Well, Jim Schwartz is a Super Bowl winning coach. He knows what he's doing, and those guys have responded to him. Defense is playing great, and you can't ask anything more. Whether it's run defense, pass defense. Look, at some point, if it continues like this, they will wear down, and they might not play at the same fever that they have played. But, you got two rookies out there, Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger. They're playing great, and they don't know any different. Their job is to get off the field, stop the run. They've been doing all of that. They look like two great picks at this point. Miles is, is a freak. I think he just wants to put quarterbacks in the graveyard. Wants to, so I don't think they're in danger of that yet. But at some point, the offense has to carry their load as well. So I don't know if there's going to be any sort of a drop because the offense isn't performing well. But I'm not worried about it right now. I think Jim Schwartz has those guys playing great.
Just a few questions from around the league. What do you think of the wild outcomes when it comes to the kicking game and the new rules and how it seems to be throwing field position off? Is this something that you like? Do you like the entertainment factor of it, or do you think we're getting a little too far away from football?
Well, they wanted to return to the game, and the return is in the game. And so, teams are getting great starting field position. It really changes the way you call offense if you're at the 30, the 35, the 40-yard line. But, the teams that are kicking it and putting in play and are covering kicks well, I think that's good for football because I think kickoff coverage is an extension of defense. Most of those guys covering the kicks are defensive players or backups that want to get on the field and play, and you're seeing great coverage around the league where teams, can't get the ball to the 20-yard line. So I think it's been really good for all the way around, whether you're great at kickoff coverage or, you can't quite put the ball where you want to put it and they're getting the ball at the 35-yard line. There's consequences. So I like the way it's going right now.
Baldy, the Fox broadcast seemed over the tush push last week. After all these years, we haven't really seen the injuries that people thought would happen, but could it be at risk just based on watchability, the inability to officiate it? Guys are lining up off sides, guys are moving early, and no one knows where the hell the football is.
Well, I haven't seen an injury yet on the tush push. All right, so anybody who wants to make that as part of their argument to can it, well, I don't see one. I haven't seen one. So, and that's 3 years of the Eagles doing this. I see other teams doing versions of the tush push. Like, that's just the Philadelphia Eagles, but, maybe Kansas City should be better on defense on first down and not allowing it to get to 3rd and 1 the way they did, throughout the game. So I don't have a problem with the play. Other teams have tried it. They're not as good at it. The Eagles only really run it to the left, and maybe there's a reason why they only run it to the left. They've got a great left guard in Landon Dickerson and a great left tackle in Jordan Mailata. Other teams don't have that. Cleveland doesn't have that. If other teams had that type of power and run blocking ability, maybe more teams would use the tush push.
Travis Hunter, Lima, you're concerned about Travis Hunter. I don't want to ask the question. You had a perfect question to ask. Go ahead.
I notice already people are wondering, is he a little distracted, having to play at a high level, 2 different positions? They got the snaps up more this week, but, in the end, he just really hasn't been a dynamic player on either side. It's only 2 games, obviously, but is this something sustainable?
He hasn't had the big play yet on offense, and he hasn't done much outside of, tackling a catch or 2 in the first 2 games. He hasn't had much of an impact. Jacksonville really should have won the game the other day if they could catch the ball as well. The star wide receiver is in a funk, and but they've done a lot of good things as an organization. They're running the ball better than they ever have over the last couple of years. And they got a rookie running back in Bayshul Tootin, who's really has been the rookie star right now for them. But they're playing really good football. They should have beaten Cincinnati. That game was in the bag. They just couldn't finish it. But I think there's going to be a time when Travis Hunter explodes onto the scene. I haven't seen much defensively from him yet, and that's where I'm kind of curious if he's really going to be a 2-down player. He's got to show up on defense and make something happen out there, and he hasn't been able to do that so far.
Kenny, you going to have the guts to ask him?
What? I'm not asking him the question.
Do it?
No, you ask him the question. I'm done. So you ask him the question.
Is Baker Mayfield elite?
Yeah, he's elite. You watch those 2 comebacks, he's just engineered 11 plays, 80 yards. He scrambles on 4th and 10 to get 15 yards and does a flip at the end of the play. There's only 9 other guys in the history of the game that did what Baker Mayfield did last year, which was throw for over 4,500 yards and over 40 touchdowns. Only 9 other guys. We all know great quarterbacks. Only 9 other guys that did what Baker's done. He's on the same pace this year, and he's doing it behind an offensive line that doesn't have his left tackle, lost the right tackle. The left guard's playing center. The right guard's now hurt. Nobody wants to talk about any of that, but Baker covers for all of it.
All right, that wasn't.
Kenny wanted him out of town.
No, that's
amazing.
Yeah, no, you wanted him out of town, and you wanted Deshaun Watson. Let me ask you this question, because this is a real question to ask. Brian, would Baker Mayfield be this version of Baker Mayfield had he still be with the Browns?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the changes that he had to go through to Carolina to the Rams, I think all those things were necessary. But he got to a really stable place with an organization that has stability. I mean, they've got a great general manager that has drafted fantastic. They got a head coach who's steady. Baker's done this with 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years. It doesn't seem to make much difference. But the organization around him believes in him, has committed to him. He's got great receivers. He's got the best left tackle in football when he's healthy. There's a lot of good pieces there with him.
Brian Baldinger. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on social media in general. He has a great video that he posted about 11, 12 hours ago of Myles Garrett. Compares him to an NFL legend pass rusher. You got to go find it to find out what pass rusher Myles Garrett has. Right, there you go. See, that's a tease. I teased him for you, Brian. There you go, my friend.
That's a good tease. I like that.
Follow him on social media at Baldy NFL. Brian, thank you very much for the time. All the best.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Brian Baldinger, NFL insider from Odyssey. That was Brian Baldinger. He's host of the Best Football Show. Insider Calls brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
How about
I'm not doing any more Baker.
No, we don't have to.
We're done.
But
I'm done.
He basically just told you it doesn't matter who your quarterback is if your receivers are not catching and your offensive line is not blocking and you can't run the football. He's basically telling you it doesn't matter. You can go to Dylan Gabriel all you want.
This is what I did, and this is what I tried to tell you on Tuesday, and no one on hell wanted to listen to me. And here I got a guy who's a veteran. And how do I know these? Because I listen to guys like Brian. That's how I know it. It wasn't like I didn't play football at a high level, so how do I know? I listen to guys like Brian. And if you put Dylan Gabriel, Dylan needs to go out there and get it in the first half. I go, no, he's going to get killed out there. That's not going to make this situation better. We need a quarterback who can run. Okay, yeah, he can run for his life, but I don't know if he's going to actually complete anything. All right, more of that, and the Guardians playing for keeps at 1 o'clock today. It's Ken Carmen, it's Anthony Lyman. It's Fat and Thin in the morning on the Fan. Window Nation.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
We got the podcast coming up today. 92.3 The Fan Extra on the free Odyssey app. Do we tell them who's joining us?
Yes.
Tell them.
You podcast to win the games.
Oh, I thought for a second you didn't remember. Tell them. It's Herm Edwards.
I pay attention just because I don't write stuff down or remember stuff normally. When it comes to that, I'm going to remember.
That era of the Jets. Like, I need to go through like a thread of the times I like the Steelers. Maybe the Bengals have one. The Steelers and Ravens don't count. But there is something in my head for each of the other teams where I like them the most. Where, like, this is the point in my life where I liked that franchise the most. And I think it was Herm Edwards' press conference with the Cadillac logo in the background. In the Jets, I think it was that era of the Jets that I liked the most. It had to be that, or it probably even wasn't Parcells. And you know I'm a huge Parcells fan. It probably wasn't him. It had to be Herm Edwards with the Jets, the Cadillac logo, everything like that. Chiefs, Marty, had to be Marty,
Mm-hmm.
had to be Marty, had to be Derek Thomas, the late great one. I remember the Hall of Fame used to have the 360 theater. And then you sat in the 360 theater, and the theater would turn. I don't know if they still do it like this. It was like cutting edge. You would sit, and the theater would rotate, and you would see this different screen, and it was awesome because it was like IMAX.
I can tell you in 2013 they still had it.
They still have it.
Tell you,
it was awesome
after
guys.
the 2013.
So they had it. It's been a few years since I've actually been in the Hall of Fame. It rotated and. It started pregame, and I remember they would have this thing where the camera followed the Chiefs out to Arrowhead, out of the tunnel, and the place is going nuts, and you're like right there, and I'm like,
the B-2's flying over.
Yes. I'm like, this is the moment with the Chiefs. When Al Davis said, "What's up, guy?" to me, that was my moment with the Raiders. Yep.
What, the parade?
Yeah. No, at the Hall when I went to the Hall of Fame game, I go, "Hi, Mr. Davis." He says, "What's up, guy?" It's like, Al Davis.
I'll never forget hosting a show on remote because our old boss, Andy, was like, "You are going to get so many interviews." And they all walked by, and I was so fed up. He wasn't able to get anybody. And then I yell at Sean Payton as he got out of his Suburban or whatever, and I go, "Coach Payton!" He goes, "Nope," and walked right in. I was on the air. Like he was going to come over and fidget with the headset.
Harry Carson came right over and sat with me and what? See, you weren't there for the olden days, man. The olden days, like my buddy Fishhead used to tell me, like with the old vets, like it's a different generation. He goes, you would talk to anybody you want. All I'd have to do was stand there with my pack of cigarettes in my hand, like and act like I was about to go smoke or go smoke. Because they come to you and go, "Can I bum a cigarette?"
And then you're in.
And then they talk to him.
We had Baldinger on moments ago.
Yes, we did.
And obviously, we had a lot of interesting things to say.
Bet your ass.
I asked schematically, because we're supposed to have...
You better not talk about a former quarterback for the Browns or I'm walking right the hell out.
I'm talking about a former quarterback who's now a current quarterback again, Joe Flacco. And I said schematically, these teams around the NFL, they're changing their personnel again. This league changes every 2.5 years, maybe even quicker than that. But it's the two high safety. You keep hearing about the two high safety. And these teams are determined not to let you beat them over the top. And I think that's borne out. You're seeing that with a lot of the teams. Just ask Owen over there. Doesn't like when I point to him about Kansas City. But you're not seeing, the depth of target. Right now,
Kansas City is 0-2.
Lowest depth of target in the NFL is Jalen Hurts. It's kind of not even close. Second lowest depth of target, Joe Flacco. So part of it is if you're going to have Joe Flacco.
Well, if you're going to win with Joe Flacco, you better have some good players around him.
If you're not throwing the ball down the field, what is the purpose really of Joe Flacco? And I get people say, what's the purpose of him at all? Anyway, he's 40 years old. You're a team in transition. fine. We've tried to lay out the case in the early part of the season, like let's develop these rookies, Harold Fannin, your running backs. Let's get the offense on schedule. Let's not have the stupid plays that rookies commit that put you behind the sticks, and then you're just getting, you're getting beat up in these games. Unfortunately, they got beat up last game, and most expect them to get beat up again. It's going to be tough. It really is tough.
I don't have a leash. I want to fit some Guardians here before we go. I don't have a leash here for him coming up on Sunday. Maybe we should talk about this tomorrow. There's no leash for me with him on Sunday. I think that going into Detroit, if he plays poorly on Sunday, Green Bay's got a really good defense. If he plays poorly on Sunday, I would consider against Detroit. It's a close enough opponent. I would consider it against Detroit. I know a lot of people are thinking about the Vikings. That would be the one where I would kick it around. I mean, 0-2. There's a 17th game. Like, I don't believe this, but yeah, you could try to talk yourself into thinking you're going to make the playoffs still. You don't want to abandon the ship. 0-3, and if your offense is still terrible, it's like, okay. But I don't want to put in a guy just because it's what's the point or why not? Why wouldn't you? We got to see. That isn't a reason. Do I believe that he can really do it? Because, I mean, if it were just, we got to see, I could draft any idiot and throw him out there. Well, we got to see. Why? That's just the rule. No, can they do what I'm asking them to do to get my offense running the way the offense is supposed to run? Today, Guardians take on the Detroit Tigers, 1 o'clock. Tarek Skubal.
Premier matchup.
Tarek Skubal against Tanner Bybee. Yesterday was the must-win. Is today house money? I still say no.
No,
because you're fighting.
Can't say house money.
But I don't think the pressure's on you. I think the pressure's on. I didn't know how much pressure was on who, honestly, until I heard 97 won the ticket in Detroit talking about it.
And they're panicky Pete's over there right now.
And they're a little bit panicky, yes.
Yeah.
So I would say that the pressure is definitely on the Detroit Tigers. As much as it shouldn't be, it should be on you. They're still the ones with the 4.5 game lead.
Well, the good news is you've gotten to a point, and maybe you'd say this about every team, but it wouldn't be true. The Guardians do not fear the Tigers right now. And I think because of what happened last year with Skubal in a game that decided the season, I think they're not afraid of him. So, I mean, that's half the battle. He could go out there and pitch brilliantly. But the good news is Tanner Bybee has at least shown glimpses of the ace we were hoping for. Would have rather had it go down, months ago. But in the last few weeks, okay, Tanner Bybee's looking more and more like a dependable starter that could be your ace.
I want to remember that question about being afraid of a pitcher tomorrow. Big thanks to everybody who joined us today. Brian Baldinger, outstanding. Mary Kate Cabot. Yes, I disagreed with her at the end, but still outstanding. We're back tomorrow, 6 to 10. We got the podcast coming up at 10:15 Eastern. Herm Edwards going to join us on the show.
He likes Dylan Gabriel, doesn't he?
92, well, we'll ask him. 92.3 The Fan Extra on the free Odyssey app. Make sure you're listening. It's brought to you by Extend Technologies. It's the emerging podcast scene. Make sure you're listening, 10:15 Eastern. We're going to be talking to Herm Edwards. For Owen, for Mitch, for Jeff, the big Oasis fan, for the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima, the big ABBA fan, I'm Ken Carmen. Have a wonderful day, my friends. And go Guardians!
They read,
go
sing,
Guardians!
And they dance. Always take life as a risk or a chance. This is the end of my silly little rap. Thank you for paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
Hey,
sounds good. Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Loser town, loser fans, and you guys are a loser show.
This is Bart Winkler with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. 10